Morning, team. We're back. It's Thursday. We're back. And if you were up, you caught a beauty of a move. Finally, the move we've been waiting for. The move we wanted yesterday morning. The move they had to build more liquidity for. The move they've taken 10 days to build for. We got it. And we caught it in Discord together, which was beautiful. So super happy. Congrats all the traders who took that with me last night. I only got a little bit compared to maybe some of you. I don't know. I got up to 800. That's all I got up to. I set my runner at 800 and went to bed, or at least left the screens with my stop in the money, which was beautiful. So let's go over what we've got and what we might look for today. As always, we're starting on the daily chart. Let me just move my new book out the way. Okay. So daily, finally breaking out of death range. Okay, failed breakout of the underside last Friday was the clue. Once we came back inside on Tuesday, remember there was no Monday trading this week. Once we came back inside, reclaimed this level. What do we do with a failed breakout? We go and explore the other side of the range, like we talked about yesterday and earlier in the week. This effectively is your Wyckoff spring. All right, a failed breakdown. Trap shorts looking for follow through lower. They don't get it. We turn back inside. They're forced to cover. Some of them don't. They add and add and add and add and add. There's their pain point, and then we abuse them. All right, so that's exactly what we got. It's what we wanted yesterday. It's what we got. Yesterday had to create a 1 day inside the range like we talked about. Left shoulder, head, single day range. Right shoulder, we held a 5 day moving average yet again, and we never violated this high here. So this was a balance to go higher. Made complete sense. Within this balance, we had to set some bear traps yesterday. That's what we had to do to get this move higher. Now, the move has come right up to these old levels. You can see resistance became support. We came very, very close. We have top Bollinger Band going up, 5 day moving average going up, all-time highs not too far away right now. All right, so if we get follow through today, we're looking for a trade back into the highs that we were at last night, and then we have to see what else we can do from that point on. All right, we have to see what else this market's capable of doing from that point on. Sorry, just make sure in the right accounts here before I do anything else. There we go. All right, so let's move to the higher time frames and we can see what we're working with right now. One thing to note on the hourly, hopefully I've got that so you can all see it. Do I need to move this down a bit? There we go. One thing on this hourly, all right, you will see. Here's your old megaphone. Where did we get stuck? But they told me trend lines don't work. ICT told me trend lines don't work. Well, that's a peculiar 1, 2, 3 tap, isn't it? Absolutely perfect. Okay, so dynamic SNR straight out the Malaysian SNR playbook worked beautifully. It's exactly where we got stuck. Main target yesterday was for 800. Anything above 800 was a bonus, and then we're looking for 22,000. So we got the move to 800, exactly what we wanted. Where did we break out from? Resistance, 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 resistance. Where are we possibly going to find support? Here. All right, this will be your RB. Now, one thing to note right now, let's get rid of that. One thing to note right now, why it might not trade down to that RBS is divergence. ES right now, or at least the SPY definitely, and I think the ES is already coming back to these levels. So let's put this on extended. All right, there we go. ES broke through, washed everyone out, is coming back to this level already. It's already there. All right, it's already there. We might not need to go lower this morning on the NQ if the ES is going to hold up and start to reclaim, I'd say, 5,950, which it's already attempting to do right now. All right, it's already attempting to do that move. So we are watching for a drive higher today. That's what I'm looking for. I want to be involved as a bull, ideally off something like this. But I've got a feeling we're not going to get that move. I've got a feeling we're not going to. Where I'm looking to then go to is we're getting close to it, these Globex lows. All right, this pivot here and here, you can see very clear support might become resistance. If we fail this level, all right, then I expect a retest somewhere around here. All right, that would be what shorts are looking for. They'll look to short this to get down to here. If we get under here, we're going lower down into this move here of the RBS. If they don't fail this level and we go reclaim, you know what we've got, you know what we're aiming for. Next level will be sort of 774, 800s basically, and then top side of the range. Okay, if they get stuck here and we do a double bottom, same thing. Or we sweep and go back up, same thing. We're looking for upside, all right? Easier move today will be upside unless, right, there is a clear lower high set followed by a lower low and a continuation play. But really momentum right now is upside versus this level here. Remember, this is where all the sellers got wrecked. This is a pullback leg. We're expecting higher prices on the higher time frame right now. All right, so any lower time frame momentum, maybe some of you took the short once we got through, broke down here. Maybe you took a momentum short down here. Great short, nothing wrong with that at all. But that is just a pullback leg for us to attempt to go higher on a higher time frame. Just remember that. News is positive so far this morning. Right, on a 30-minute chart, you can see it nice and clear here. So we'd be looking to hold top side of range for a move back inside. Here would be ideal, and then that would be fantastic. All right, I've probably missed the buy opportunity already down low. Moving to lower time frame, you can just see all the same stuff we've talked about. Okay, starting to develop some liquidity here. There's your W. If we start getting above this, we're going for that move here. If we reject this, we probably get some form of trend back down into this for a double bottom. I'd be risk off at that point. And if we get lower into previous day high, fantastic. That's a bonus point for you if you're taking counter trend shorts. Remember, news has been positive. One thing I should talk about is what the news is. All right, obviously, Nvidia earnings, fantastic. And then we had the court ruling saying that all the tariff stuff is completely illegal and won't be going through. What do you expect Trump to do when someone goes against him? He is going to throw all his toys out the pram, okay? He's not just going to politely go back to the courthouse. You should expect some fairly volatile statements from him, maybe on Truth Social and Twitter, maybe in the press and media. Don't expect him to say nice things. I would expect things like, what they've just said is illegal. I'm going to have them fired. We're going to replace them, yada, 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 yada. So what does that mean? Whether you agree with it or not, what that means is increased volatility into the market. What does the market not like? It hates uncertainty. So if we have uncertainty come into the market, don't be surprised to see this market go risk off. Okay, they've made a lot of money in this session. If you start seeing some nasty tweets, market might go, hey, we're backing off this for a bit. Let's let all these guys fight it out. So just be aware of that. Let's have a quick look at the mag together. VIX, I'd imagine, has been gapping down. Where are you, Mr. VIX? Let's do that first. Into 18s. So yeah, it was gapped right down, drifted back up into these same levels. If same thing as yesterday, really. VIX breaks out in 1950, market goes risk off. But really, we want to see the VIX. If we're going to go for an upside move, we want to see the VIX come back down here again. Market looks like it's building for a bit of a squeeze right now, in my opinion. Looks pretty good for a squeeze out. Apple, big gap up. Look at this gap up. Huge gap up, pulling back, probably like 50% or just over. Right, we're looking for a continuation up versus this. Very similar to what we're looking at in the rest of the market. Microsoft, big gap up. You want to see Microsoft take out previous day high. Here goes the market starting to squeeze, just like we talked about now. Amazon, big gap up, pulling back to previous day high, finding a bid there. Very, very strong in doing so. Google, same thing, big gap up through previous day high, trying to find a bid right now. Meta, same thing, big gap up. Here's your SNR. Right, these are the levels that they'll want to hold for the drive higher. Looks very, very good. Sorry, I've just put a little piece on this, moving my stop into the money. Nvidia, same thing. Look at the gap up. This is the gap up. These are big gaps up. These are higher highs. Can it squeeze out? Maybe a little wash first and then go. We'll have to see. Tesla, same story. Needs to hold these levels here for continuation higher. And we look good. We look really good across the board. If you want, we can go through the spiders and QQQ for those of you who are trading ETFs very, very quickly, because I'm sure some of you have been playing options. All right, so SPY, what did we have yesterday? We talked about it, same as NQ. Here are the bear traps. Right, this was the NVIDIA bear trap. How can we get lots of people short so we can buy back very, very cheap at key levels? This is how we do it. Fake breakdown, we walk it down, snap, snap. Thanks very much. You just shook out all the bulls. Bears come flying in, and then we go, boom, thank you very much, NVIDIA. NVIDIA breaks us through that. Trump breaks us through that. Make all our money. This is a back test. We're looking for some kind of bullish structure here to go higher. All right, that's all we're looking for right now. Some form of bullish structure to go high. QQQ, same thing. Bear traps under key levels. Absorption into key levels. Here's the grind up. Here's the pullback. Inverted head and shoulder. There's the breakout, push, pull. We're looking for buy opportunities here until proves otherwise. All right. What I would say is if we dance under here, if we get stuck under these levels, at that point, I'm not trying to be a buyer. All right. If we start getting stuck under here, I'm not trying to be a buyer because this would be another failed breakout, just expanding the range. So I just got stopped out there on my runners. All right. So there you have it. You know what we're looking for? Ideally for buys at good levels. Lower time frame momentum coming into this New York session is in a sell, so I'm going to respect that. I'm not trying to guess the bottoms here. I was just long from here and moved my stop up to there, locking a little bit more in. Let's move this back to a big screen for you all. 4 minutes until the open, plenty of time, plenty of time. Remember, you're not going to need to use size today. It's probably the other thing I haven't said. Your volatility is up. Your size can come right down, all right? Do not be surprised to see 100-point 1-minute candles today. Your size can come right down until it settles down right now. Your volatility is definitely up. So just be careful with that, all right? Don't be oversizing in this market. It will teach you a very harsh lesson very, very quickly. Let's go through some good mornings, see who's here today. Morning, Miguel, Ramus, Jesse, John, Jeff, DK, ERF, Eva, Thumper, Mike, Toby, Ash, Lyndall. Lyndall, you probably don't need to be trading today. You absolutely smashed that long trade last night. So playing with house money, hopefully. Aaron, Brandon, Leron, Michael, Vince, Brad, Firewater, Kat, Paul, Ken, Abe, Juan Carlos, Camille, Richard, Dre the trader, caught the move, up 1,428. Don't normally trade at night, but it was there. Exactly. It was there for the taking, wasn't it? Firewater, Marek, Trentry, Raphael, Peter, Christy, where are all these names? Myron, Aaron, John, Andrew, Aaron, Clint. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Do me a favor, smash that like and subscribe button nice and early. Apex sale has now finished, I'm pretty sure. Traderify is still on sale if you're interested. We expect volatility at the open here, which is coming in 2 minutes. I'll give you a quick read on the book of who I'm looking at and where they are. Not much down below right now. You've got a little bit of action here into 665, 660. They just pulled their order down at 625, so kind of a bit of a black hole under that right now. There's a 58 lot down at 500, nothing too big. There's a 50 lot up at, there's a 58 lot down at 500. There's a 50 lot up at 800. There's a 50 lot up at 900. I expect this book will start to thicken up once we open. JJ, Alex, many micro contract would you take on an Apex Evo? Oh, how many? If you're going to trade it properly in a volatile market, 2 to 3 is plenty. 2 to 3 is plenty. Depends how experienced you are. But 2 to 3 micros in a 50K is plenty, especially if you're going to get 100-point swipes. It's going to pay you a lot of money. 100-point swipe on 3 micros is 600. That's all you're going to need. That's plenty of money. Lyndall, lol, I'm being a good boy, sitting on my hands until something becomes really obvious. Yeah, I love it. Apex has another sale. Does it really already? Oh my gosh. Wow. Another sale already. Okay, fair enough. Well, if you want to support me, support the channel, all the money that I make from any affiliate just goes back into things for the channel, like the equipment and the lights and the microphone. You can use code FZT on all your prop firms. Let's see what we get here at the open, folks. Watching this level down here, watching this level up here. Okay, acceptance over here, potential squeeze. Double bottom down here, potential buy. Failure of this level here, we go back into death range. Don't really want to do that. Don't really want to get failures under these levels down here. Let's see how long we got here. Another 40 seconds or so. Expecting a volatile open here, folks. So just going to sit on my hands at the open. Not expecting this to be nice. Expecting it to be a little bit wild. One thing I didn't check was financial juice. Where are we up to? Goolsby speaking at 7:40. Pending home sales. Sorry, 7:40 my time, that is. So in an hour. Pending home sales coming in half an hour as well. Just orange folder news, nothing too massive. Crude at midday. I'll be gone by then. Let's see what we get here, folks. All right, sorry, market's been open. I'm 1 minute behind here, clearly. Let's see if we trade into, sweep some of these and trade into this pull down here. And see if buyers start stepping in. I'll give you a readout on the market. Tesla 2.63% up. Nvidia 5.44% up. Meta 1.5% up. Google 0.65% up. Amazon 1.5% up. Microsoft 0.85% up. Apple 1.37% up. So watching to see if they sweep any of these guys. You can see we've been bidding off this so far. This is because it's where SPY is bidding off its RBS levels. This is the buy zone really for NQ. So if we get down there and offer something, or even if we come a bit short and offer something, I'll be interested. There might be a short down into there, but you're short in the low of days. Remember, we came all the way up. If you're thinking about a short right now, the short opportunity was all the way up here. This might not look very big, but that's 200-300 points away. So failing bear flags, coming down into our level. I know I'm not taking the short right now, but I'm waiting to see. I want to see if the higher time frame trend stays intact. If it doesn't stay intact, I'm happy to move over and think about short opportunities. He's a big drive, sub 900, sorry, sub 900, sub 600s. Remember, 560s were those old highs. If we're going to go violently down, then all those bulls are going to get absolutely wrecked and we give back the whole move. Starting to get into that zone now. 580s. Gap fill, remember, is a long, long way away. 370s. That would be a very nasty move. If last night was a pump to dump, that would be a hugely nasty move. You would want these areas we're coming into really to hold. Not just for me to be bullish, but really for what we set up going forward off of it. If we go back into that range, that huge move yesterday from 560 to almost 900 becomes a failed breakout move. We're seeing bids starting to come in here. In front of that previous day high. I'm watching this carefully. Very, very early in the day still. Really want to see us tag into previous day high. Those 560s where we broke out from. We're just looking left, right? We're looking left. We're looking at these levels that we broke out from. If we really want to drift down here, so be it. But I would rather we found a bid in front of those levels if possible. I'm watching if this market's going to reclaim as well. Is that the New York Open? Why has he got it printing left and not right? Oh my God. Every time I think I'm closer to releasing this, I find another issue. All right, seeing some bids coming on the tape here. Some buyers stepped up into 87s. I'd still just want to let this chop around for a little bit. Good morning, Tyson. See if we can get down to previous day high time frame algo. That little blue box somewhere down there would be great. Finding a bid here for now. Still want this to have a little bit of a swipe lower, to be honest. But it is finding a bid. Watching SPY into its higher time frame algo, trying to reclaim. SPY versus high day would be key. If it starts to reclaim high of day and those deep pullback flow zones. And you can also watch that New York Open as a trigger. In fact, as that isn't working, let's make sure we've got it working our side. So if you were short this morning for this drive down, you look pretty good. Make sure you're starting to take some profit into these levels. Bear flag breaking down, but you're coming into key RBS levels. QQQ coming into PDH. SPY is already under PDH, but it is into a big RBS level right now. Nvidia now 6% up. Tesla 2.37% up. Meta 1.1% up. Google 1% up. Amazon 1.83% up. Microsoft 0.69% up. Apple 1.34% up. They're holding on pretty well. They are holding on pretty well to their sort of basing out. I have to see if they continue to do that or not. Lots of eyes will be on Trump. We already know he's pushed back, saying he's going to appeal it. It's more about what more does he say? Do bulls step back in the market today? Coming into those key levels, they're going to need to hold into and around these 560s where we broke out from. They can afford to dunk a little bit lower if they really want to come down to 500s, but really you'd want them to hold here. No impression. I can't imagine the comedy factor people like Shane Gillis are getting out of what might happen right now. Can you imagine if he wins the appeal? I can imagine Gillis just being like, they call me the Taco King. I can't wait. It's just gold. It's absolute gold what's happening right now if you're a comedian. Talking about comedians, I am excited. I'm going to see Ricky Gervais at the Bowl this weekend. Should be great. Second time seeing him there. All right, very close to that PDH. Very, very close. High time frame algo there. RBS there. Previous week high there. PDH there as well. God. All right, PDH about to be tagged. These red lines. There we go. So PDH hit previous week highs there. Lower high time frame algo just below. We're still in bearish structure on the lower time frame. We're waiting to see if bulls step in or not. If they don't step in, there's no buying opportunity. QQQ into PDH as well. Crazy market. What a big move up to give the whole thing back. Insane, but that's what we've got right now. So you have to respect what we have. Drifting down. Selling on the tape this morning. I'd imagine they will give a bounce at some point. The question is when. Don't move my stuff, please, Ninja Trader. A strong, two very, very strong 5-minute bearish candles here so far this morning. These are the levels which I expect them to try and hold, though, somewhere around here. If we see them start to hold, I'll think about participating. If we don't see that, I'm going to be very, very careful because the momentum's very strong to the downside. And if we go back into that range, It might be a no trade day, which is fine. Made all my money last night. Don't really care if it doesn't provide an opportunity today. Tacos is the abbreviation of the headline they're giving him. Try and think what it stands for again. It's like basically saying he never follows through with his threats. It was printed yesterday. They asked him about it yesterday in the press conference as well, and he just went, "That's rude. Next question." All right, previous week high here. Trump always chickens out. There it is. They're talking about the trade agreement when they said that. All right, there's a buy here at 550, not huge size, but you're seeing some reaction start to come here at previous week high and previous day high. Like we talked about, these are the key levels, top of that blue box. If they fail further down, we're going to go further down if they want. Like we said, we can trade to PDC. Kind of wild, but possible. Kind of wild, but possible. Let me get my daily up. All right, you're starting to see some reaction here. I'm interested if they hold. Still lower lows and lower highs so far. These are the levels I'm interested in if they're going to step in. So far, no one stepping in with a big shove. I want to see like a big reaction, not a muted reaction. Lows continue here. It's like I said, need to see a huge reaction off these levels. Don't want to be early at all. But you can see on the higher time frame, we've just drifted all the way back. If it wants to come and back, I mean, it's unfortunate. If it wants to come and back test 470s, 490s, it can. That would be. I wouldn't feel confident about taking a long at that point. I'd be honest, because we would be back in the range, like the death range. Everything I wouldn't want to see would be down there. That would be a bit like, what was that day the other week where we broke out to the downside? A bit like Friday, where we got that Tuesday big push back up. If we're going to get that big failure back down, it'd be nasty. It would be very nasty. And delete that. This is the old anchored view up. Range is massive as well, by the way. Some of these candles are fairly big, and they can expand violently if they trap enough, both sides. So far, selling volume has been much higher than buying volume this morning. Delta staying heavy. Cannot buy against this right now. It's staying heavy. There is nothing to do here unless you were already short. If you took that breakdown there, fine. But other than that, or if you were short this morning and were just riding it down, I know some of them in Discord were short this morning looking for this. But I would be starting to take some profit and runners only at this point. We're into very key levels here where bulls will want to try and hold, or at least the higher time frame bulls should try and hold if they're looking to do anything. Starting to see a bit of reaction. Still no turn. We're still in lower lows and lower highs. No reason to be bullish yet. You can see they're trying to absorb though. Question is, are they exhausted after how many days of trying to absorb? Like quite a lot. And maybe they hit all their profit targets. 800 was the target for me last night and we hit it. And what was the high in the end last night? 858. I did have a runner set for 22k just in case it wanted to go. Bearish structure continues until proves otherwise. These bearish structures are playing out. Bear flag, bear flag, bear flag, bear flag. But your location for short is terrible right now. You do not want to be initiating a short in an RBS zone. Terrible location to initiate a short. Break of the lows there. There is a buyer at 500, so are they going to go for even numbers? 20's coming up. Bottom of this box. VWAP is at what? Just under 500. VIX up to 19s, 19.16 now. Wow, these bulls have got to be upset, haven't they? If you did not take profit on that move last night, opening range now set, by the way, folks. We just said it now. If you did not take profit last night after a huge move like that, I don't know what to say. Okay, opening range now set. Your low of day is your orb. So those of you who are orb traders, you can think about shorts under there. I don't love them, given where we are on higher time frame. But they're there for you if that's your play. It's not something I will be taking today. No orb shorts for me today here. Maybe I'll look back and regret it, but there's no way I'm getting short into these levels here. No chance, mate. We think about momentum lower time frames bearish. We think about location very bullish. So they're not in agreement, so I'm not thinking about a short. It might well work for you. Maybe you get a breakdown on the orb, that's fine, but it goes against, I'm always structure first, it goes against the structure I'm looking at, so I cannot trade this to the downside right now. Buyers here stacking up 510s, 500s. Mag still all green, by the way. Still all green and comfortably green. Tesla 2.28%, Nvidia 5.68%, Meta 0.5%, Google third or just almost 0.25%, going back up now, 0.41%. Google 1/3%, Amazon 1% up, Microsoft 1/3% up, Apple 0.82% up. All the stocks still green. None of them testing their closes. Still in healthy levels. Just depends if bulls come in or not. Like I said, made my money last night. So if you're thinking, hey, why isn't he taking the short counter trend? I will wait for the bulls to step back in. And if they don't step back in, then I'll think about the short. But right now, I'm happy with what I made last night. Do not want to get short into these levels. Like I said, I might live to regret that. It's very, very possible right now, given what they're doing. I'm going to wait for this. Might get a change on that new 4-hour candle. If we think about this hourly candle, we're going to leave a huge imbalance here. When the new hour candle comes, 30-minute bar, we extend down. I wouldn't be surprised to see a reprice in. Would not surprise me in the slightest. Here's your opening range retest. Rejecting the orb so far, just about. I'd say if they start reclaiming it, there's a trigger long there probably for counter trend. Whether you want to play it or not, it's a whole different ball game, but no structural shift. VIX 1921 right now, almost closed its gap on the VIX, by the way. Orb holding there. 500s look like they want to be tested here. Looks like they want to test those 500s to me. Very, very volatile. 500 is tested there on the nose. Yeah, like I said, Rafa, it can go deeper if it wants. Like we've got anchors down here. We've got anchors down here for it to run into. Lots of levels. All the volume yesterday was very tight in these levels. It can still hold it. It's just, it's not very pretty because if we think about a daily, we've just moved back into the range. We need that. If we get back in here, we're in chop zone. That's the last thing I want to see. Why does my stream keep stopping here? Qs are in a melt right now. Not buying against the grain here. Here's VWAP, value area high coming up from yesterday, point of control coming up from yesterday. What a melt. What a melt. That was a pump to dump, clearly. Have to be careful now as we drift into range. VIX starting to break out, 1937. 1943 will be the technical breakout on the VIX. If we do that, gap fill is not out the question at this point, which I'm very surprised about, but it's not. It is not out the question here for these shorts. They can go for a gap fill if they want. As disgusting as it is, they can do it. Buyers stepping up here, reclaiming 500. Well, how low did we go there for? 85, reclaiming 500 here. I'd watch this orb. If you start to get a print inside the orb, then I think you're going to be stuck here. And like I said, it's the 4 hour, 1 hour transition coming up. That's probably what you're starting to get some covering for on the short side. Is this one of those liquidity? Which side? To the downside. It's just profit taking. We had Trump come out and say that he will appeal against the decision. I'm not seeing anything else. But it's just technical. It looks exaggerated, but if you zoom out on a high time frame chart, it's just a technical play, isn't it? Your orb's about to get retested here. I'd say if they start to print back above 520s, you might get a bit of a trigger squeeze here. What's that orb? 2275, whatever it is. So if they get a failure under the orb and go back inside the orb, you might get a trigger squeeze here. Here it goes. I'm in small size for this. With his counter trend. Here it goes. Peeling some off. Would not surprise me at all if we start printing up on this new 4 hour and hourly candle, if we can get acceptance back inside some key levels. Remember, we can go from one side of the orb to the other side of the orb very, very quickly. Here you go. Into flow zones. I want to see if we can get back through the old previous day high now. Reclaim of 560 will be very, very good. Reclaim of 560 would be a very, very strong move. Good sentiment shift there for high time frame buyers. VIX got absolutely clapped once it closed the gap. Absolutely clapped. I can see where's some selling on the book. Not too much. Some into 550s. Want to see sellers show up much, much higher right now. And we've got 7 minutes until that new hourly candle. You can see higher time frame where we bounced off. Oh, hello, Mr. Anchor. Right off him. All right, so we're holding these levels here. Didn't really want to drift down that far, but we said we can do it if it wants. If we reclaim this, this is possible for a reprice into there. Makes total sense. Still in this long right now. Still holding the opening range, looking very, very counter trendy here for a possible squeeze up. If we reclaim 560s, there's a bigger move. If we can't reclaim it, then I'm just going to keep taking partials. Do not want it to drift back below 520s here. We'll move my stop nice and tight there in the money. I think bullish volume start to step in. They might need one more swipe down. If they're really going to go for a big bull run, I wouldn't mind. Let's move this to 1 minute. This should be white. Why is this? Right, so reclaim of the orb. Into VWAP. Reclaim of the orb. Trigger long. If we reclaim this, we can come up here. If we reclaim this, we're going to come back up and test this level because that's a daily level. All right, understand your higher time frames right now. We're still bearish, lower time frame, but we're bullish, high time frame, as in on a daily. I wouldn't mind one more pullback and just to see it get absorbed for me to be really confident that maybe a bottom's in. What I want to be careful of is on a new hourly bar, if they want to do a swipe, what would that look like? It would look like, say we close here, a wick down here on an hourly bar, and then a reprice back up. All right, so they might do something like that. I don't mind joining in afterwards as well. We're just hanging around the RBS level right now. Watching ES. Nice recovery from ES. It's already back into these levels. Nice, Ken. Well done. Okay, starting to try and reclaim the flow zones here. Like we said, previous day high, previous week high key. We break back through that, through 560, and we sustain a bid. We're probably just going to go rip some faces upside at that point, if we can do that. I wouldn't mind one more pull down and an absorption in front of 520, 525. That would be quite nice, and leave that bottom in strong, so then we get like a nice sort of W pattern at that point. Something like this would be very nice to hold. Break above this, trigger long, and thank you very much, off to the races. That would be good. If we can't do that, then this can just be one pullback to be sold into to go lower. So we need to be careful versus 520s right now. How we act here is going to be key, especially into this new hourly bar. Daily bar right now is looking atrocious. All right, so it's looking absolutely atrocious. If this daily bar goes red, it's going to be a big problem for the market. All right, so coming back to those 520s, if we can't absorb here, I'd be risk off. If we cannot absorb here, I'd be risk off. All right, taking it off here. Don't mind joining back in if it turns. ES got absolutely slammed on that high time frame algo, which means on a 15-minute chart, they're trying to sell this. Back to the 500s. Daily bar trying to go red here. That's your problem down here. Your daily bar is trying to go red. It's wild. How long to that transition? 2.5 minutes. I wonder if they do a dirty move, swipe on the 4 hour, 1 hour, and turn back upside. Doesn't look pretty out there right now. Just checking to see if there's been any tweets or anything this morning. I'm waiting for like a strong response, which we've not seen, which is, in my mind, is odd. Like, how's he not said something really strong by now? I would have just thought he's licking his lips to say something at the moment, but maybe it's just me. 500s again here. All right, new hourly and 4 hour bar coming here in 1 minute. At this point, I don't mind if it puts a wick in and turns because I'm out of it. PDC here. Let me check. Oh, PDC here, 39s. Yeah. If it wants to do gap fill, it's got to go to 380. SPY would need to get to 587. It'd be surprising, but at this point, less surprising. Are we inside a 15-minute breaker block? We're looking at my 30-minute. Yeah, it's just an RBS, but whatever you want to call it. Yes, you're basically, that's where you're at. We're finding bid right off VWAP. Right off the VWAP. Yeah, pending home sales. I don't think they will move the market too much, to be honest. Seller here, 100 lot. Stuck at this 100 lot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here comes the new hourly and 4-hour candle. Let's see what they do with it. Ideally, wick down, find a wick, and come straight back upside. That would be nice at this point. Don't just do nothing. If we go sideways here, we're just going to be sideways in death chop. All right, so really the trigger long will be back over previous day high 560s. Until then, you'd have to be risk off, really. I've had a couple of attempts at it. Had some tiny partials. No runners working for me so far this morning. The previous day open here at 79. Previous day close here at 380. If they really want to close that gap. It might seem like a lot being 120 points away, but really given the size and the volatility in this market, it could do it if it wanted to. Buyers stacking up here at 485s. Passive buyers on the tape down there. Market still in a sell this morning. These are old areas of value yesterday that we traded around. Remember, we were in a very tight range yesterday. And that's where we were. Value area high, point of control, value area low. Those are previous days value areas, by the way, when I put those out. Not current day. VIX still trading 1918. Come on, market, let's do something. I don't care what you do at this point. Let's do something. Back to the orb here. Ugh. Go to sleep. I tell you what, if I hadn't traded last night, I'd probably be a bit annoyed at this point. All right, banging back on that orb again, 520s. If we get through that 520s and they get a sustained bid on this new hourly bar, we could imagine some relief. If you look at the 30-minute bar or the hourly bar, we've gone straight down. You can easily see some relief in this market for a trigger squeeze through 520s back to previous day high. Very, very possible right now. If we get through previous day high, we can go much, much further. So triggering now through that orb, it's going to be a fight here. This is going to be a battle. Do they want to close the gap, or are they going to allow some relief on this hour? If they just poke into here and sell on the hour, it wouldn't look good. All right, if they just poke into here and sell, it wouldn't look good. This becomes more probable. If they can hold here and do one of these, there's a reprice up to 629 possible. Makes sense. Back through previous day high, and then this makes sense. If they fail here, they might want to retest some of that. That would be very, very ugly for the market, because if you look left, we're back into death chop range. Don't really want to do that. It's not necessarily even that I want to be a buyer today. If we go back into that death chop range, then our bias for what the market's going to do disappears, which means we're coming to the market each day without a strong trend. We have the opportunity here to have a breakout, a retest, and a strong trend back up to all-time highs, which would be a really nice, easy trade for us to take for the remainder or for the next month or two, right? Be a nice trade for us to take. If we don't get that and we go back into chop, then what you've experienced with me live for the last 10 days, you will probably experience all over again. Will not be ideal. So holding 500s for now. Those bids are still there at 485. Still can't be a buyer. It's tried to trigger that long squeeze through the opening range twice and is not getting it. So the orb traders who are short right now are pretty good. They're still 25 points in the money. Even though I would not take that given where we are in the higher time frame. It is paid for you. If you're taking that, it's paid for you. And you could hold for 379 or 380 right now. If it really is going to do gap fill, that's going to be where it goes to. I think previous day open is 480 here. Previous day close 380 here. Oh, here we go. It looks like we're going to go gap fill then. Wow. You've got divergence on the tape versus ES right now, folks. We just made a new low. ES did not make a new low. Just be aware of that. Oh, how am I kicking myself for not taking the short? Back into value area high and point of control from yesterday. Remember, this is where we built up volume yesterday in these areas. Previous day close all the way down here. We don't need this anymore. That's yesterday's level. I can really tighten some of these up a bit. This should be like this. Clean this up. There we go. Has anything gone red yet? Yeah, Microsoft's gone red on the day and Google's gone red on the day. The rest look good. Bit of profit taking here on Nvidia, 4% down, 4% up now, as opposed to 6. Gap fill does not look out the question. If you were short on that orb, you look pretty good. Well done, Richard. Well done. Well, waiting for pro trend again seems to be non-existent in this market. They do not want to develop a trend in this market quite clearly. VIX breaking out previous day high. All right, VIX 1950s now. If we break that, we can really get going. What's that pivot high? 1957, I would say, is the pivot high. If we break that, we're probably going to go 20s. Just really waiting for gap fill now. No trigger longs. We had one attempt. How many points did I get out of that first attempt? About 25 points, and that was it. PDC looks very, very possible right now. Definitely looks possible. Here it comes. Not too far away. PDC's 380. You want to know something wild? PDL is 319. That would give us an out. That would give us a breakout bar on the daily to the upside to trade inside, to trade outside on the low. This daily, look at this daily bar right now. That does not look very good to me. That looks horrendous. How many puts got burnt last night only to wake up this morning and think, oh my God, I could have been okay? Probably quite a lot. All right, we're coming into the gap fill. Like I said, 380s. If you're still in this short, you look good. Should I have taken the orb short? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Wild. Wild. Not a bull to be found here this morning. And this hourly candle starting to really expand now. All the way down to point of origin. Back to those 1250s on the ES that we were at yesterday. I don't know if any of you remember that. We talked about that 1250 level yesterday. We're back there again. You can't come all this way and not go PDC, surely. Would you do that, market? That would be very dirty of you. All right, here we go. Thank you. PDC coming. 400s, 380s is PDC, or 379.75. If you're watching the ES, your 4 o'clock close will be 902s. It's holding the 912s. It was a big level for us yesterday. Under over dance there. We're this close to the PDC, you would imagine it would just want to go and take it. Oh, I'm sort of kicking myself a little bit. Every time I seem to wait for these higher time frame buyers to show up, they don't. Every time I wait for the higher time frame sellers to show up, they don't. Back into death chop we go then. Maybe that response from Trump was enough. I don't know. I'm surprised. Here goes VIX. 1964s now. How is the market not going to fill this gap? Come on, you're right there. You might as well fill it. You might as well fill it, market. Still in bearish momentum. Flow zone's all bearish. I wouldn't really say that the higher time frame is particularly bullish at this point. I'd say it's more just inside, back inside. So I'm not really feeling good about being a buyer right now. Watching these levels down here where we absorbed yesterday. Break under there, we keep going. But there's been no pullback to sell, and there's been no buyers that turn up. Thank you, love. PDC coming here, folks. And if we go through that, PDL coming. If you've been in this short, you look really, really good. Oof. Oofa. 1966. I think VIX can keep going here. 1970. Very close to filling this gap now. Wild. So we almost hit 900 overnight, and we're back to our close at 4 o'clock yesterday, pre-NVIDIA earnings. Because NVIDIA earnings were not until 4:20. ES still absorbing this level, by the way. It's not got to its close yet either. Still absorbing this level. What's this old low here on VIX? 1966. We are at a bit of a pivot on VIX. Let's see if it can keep going here or not. Yeah, late entries short side have paid today. They have. I was maybe a bit over fussy, thinking I don't really want to get short into an RBS, but maybe living to regret it. Momentum strong. Still not filled this gap. At this point, want it to fill the gap. Won't have any trade possibilities if it doesn't fill the gap at this point. It's close. It's only, what, 30 points away. Can do that in an instant, in a flash. It can do it in a flash. So only thing red right now is Goog. Meta went green to red, red to green, just about, or it might go red again in a second. Tesla, 0.75% up. Nvidia, 3.62% up. Amazon, 0.5% up. Apple, 0.25% up or under. The bleed continues. Lots of profit taking. Well, they're protecting that low. That 12 level on ES, it remains protected, very much like yesterday. We kept talking about it yesterday. You would think they would want to close the gap, but apparently not. So it's going to be hard. I've got a little tickle on here just in case. I don't really want to take anything notable until we close the gap. It's just a rebalance here, and that's it. I'm expecting this to get slammed very, very shortly back down for a gap fill. I'd want them to slam it for a gap fill. I don't really want them to let this go all the way up, because then if it offers me a better long, I know that there's still a gap open. That is not good. How many times have we said that recently, where it just leaves a liquidity pool? Back to flow zones here. Come on, come back down and close the gap. Don't want to do it, does it? Come and close the gap. I don't even care if you get really heavy and go to previous day low, but please don't leave it all open. Please don't leave it all open, market. Strong bounce off 12s there on the ES. Oh, my little guy's still in. Please close the gap. Come on, market. Be efficient. I'll whisper to you. Otherwise, I'm never going to get a good trade today. Okay, come. Sell. Sell and close. Sell and close. We're tapping on value area low from yesterday. Sell and close, please. Not that I'm looking for a short. I want it to be efficient. Otherwise, even if I think about a counter trend long, it's going to be hard. Because it means they're leaving stuff open to trade back to later. We're just trading back to flow zones right now. That's all we're doing. Man, the candles are so big that on my smaller charts on Ninja, it's really hard to see it all, to move everything around. Here we go. Come on. Well, if they absorb this, we're going upside. I really want them to not absorb this and to just trade down to 380. Be much, much healthier for the market. It would give us much better trades for the rest of the day if we do that. If it doesn't do it, then there's not a lot I can probably do with it. VIX finding some sellers there. Let's see if it holds its RBS level on the VIX, trading back to previous day high. There we go, market. Thank you. All right, come and close it now then, please. Come on, just come and close it. No. There's lots of buyers down here. 87s down to 75s. Come on, just come and close it. What is TradingView doing? Moving my mouse. What are you doing, TradingView? What is this? Stop it. What is it doing? Struggling. Anyone else got this glitch? What's going on? There we go. All right, come, please. All right, here we go. Gap fill coming. Thank God. Gap fill coming. If we go under that, if you're still holding, if we go under that, you got 320s available. which would be previous day low. ES has not quite closed it yet. It's got a bit further to go. SPY a bit further to go. QQQ a little bit further to go. NQ a little bit further to go. Not too far away, though. Yeah, come on, man. 79.25s is gap fill. Reclaiming 400s here. You want to see the gaps get filled at this point. Oh. I'm surprised we've not seen a big response from Trump. I'm just like checking tweets. I haven't got Truth Social though. But we're seeing Carney say like he's glad to see this happening. Come on, you got to fill it. Very close. Come on. Really shouldn't be this hard to fill this gap. Come on. Come on. Come on. There's not that many buyers down there. Just go and make it efficient. It doesn't matter what time frame you're using, Jeffrey. The gap is the gap. It's the 4 o'clock close. You can view that on any time frame you want. You can view it literally on any time frame. It's got nothing to do with time frames. All right, so did we tag that yellow line? I think we did. I would rather see it trade. Well, we're 1 tick away. Brilliant. And ES did not tag it. Really? Really? Come on. This is ridiculous. Go and get through it. Come on. I want all these markets to be efficient and close these gaps. I'm not going to have any trade available if we don't do that based on my system. We are just seeing absorption, absorption, absorption down here. Dear, oh dearie me. It's trying. It really wants to do it. And ES will want to do the same. They can't, well, they can. They don't want to come this close and not be efficient. They might as well just be efficient. What I'd say is VIX is starting to build out a rather nice 5-minute bull flag here. Nice, Dre. Very nice. All of you who got the short, you're looking very, very pretty. Little silly man Alex waiting for the pro trend to come is still just waiting for the pro trend to come. And now I'm out of pro trend territory, to be quite honest. I'm into rotation territory, which is not what I wanted to see today. So I will probably have to live with the profits I made last night, which is fine because they were pretty good profits. I got a good 200 points out of it last night. That is not bad, but could have made exactly the same this morning, really. That's great work, Dre. You're there or thereabouts. If you took the NQ trade, you're there or thereabouts into this yellow line. Underneath that, your next target would be down here, 320s. You do have an old VWAP here, but 320s is possible if they're really going to start to sell this aggressively. At that point, I'd be looking at the NQ and not feeling too good about it, about any longs. And I don't just mean in this session. I mean, generally speaking, that is looking very much like a continuation of the megaphone that we went over this morning, where we got stuck with another failed breakout. So we failed to break out the downside. We failed to break out the top side afterwards. And we're back in range. I have Delta down here. I don't use it too much, but I do have Delta, yeah. The Delta's heavy, very heavy today. Man, if they've caught everyone down here without filling it, it's going to be so dirty and so hard to take. Trigger stops would be 450, basically. That little wick high that we have up there, that's probably the stop triggers. They can still build out liquidity sideways here. I'd say short stops are like here. This is the range right now. Really, you want this filled. Still making lower highs and lower lows. Trend is still lower highs and lower lows until proves otherwise. This needs to be filled. It's a much easier long if they fill it and then want to rebalance. It's a much harder long if they don't fill it. Much, much harder long if they don't fill it. The 450 can trigger some stops here and maybe come and test 480. You can also swipe it and turn back inside. Very, very possible. Very close to those 450s there. $450, $460. They're all starting to stack up here, these sellers, up to 65s. So there's the tag through these stops here. Now the question is, do they sell this back down from this point after sweeping them? Or do buyers step in and try and sustain a bid? Again, very hard to be a buyer, that given that we've left the gap open. Come all the way down to it and left the gap open. Well, it's already broken 448. It's done it already. ES has not broken that pivot high. The NQ has. Creating max pain. It's possible. Both sides. It's possible. Starting to get a bit squeezy here. If shorts get too much in the hole down there, they get caught, which is what you're starting to see. Now, this is what I was looking for, but I really would have preferred it to fill the gap first, because then I don't have to worry about it getting slammed for a gap fill. But it's looking good now. He's starting to break out. Like we said, shorts trigger was basically 50s, which is what we've started to trigger, all the short stops. This is still now pivoting. You want this to hold for a trade back into there. If we build liquidity up here, you have this. Why don't I really love it? Because we haven't filled the gap fully. That's the only danger right now. It's the only danger. If we had done a gap fill, this here and then this, it's a much easier trade because there's no magnet down here at that point. But we still have a magnet there, and so does SPY and ES. It still has magnets down there right now. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep doing that this morning. If we had like come through this. Oh, I'm on TradingView, piece of shit. Right, if we'd done this, it'd be much easier. Fill this gap, ES fills this gap, break, push, pull, go. Much, much easier. Leaving this like this, it's a little bit risky. It's not ideal. It doesn't mean it doesn't play out. It just means they make it a little bit harder here. As there's still basically a magnet on ES. ES has basically got a magnet to trade down to 903s. Right, we've still got a magnet really to trade into 78s, which we didn't fully do. We came very, very close. But we are starting to see some like buyers step in the tape. No, I'm not in it, Raphael. I will join. I'm happy to join if it starts to build some liquidity out. Remember, the flow zones are still red. We're still bearish in structure. This can really, I'd want to see a pullback into, I don't know, 30s, 39, 40s, or maybe what we've just done really is enough. But a little bit of liquidity being built there before thinking about that move back up. And then we got in an hour. It's a new 30-minute bar here. It's interesting as well. Starting to see Google try and go red to green as well. It's encouraging. It is encouraging. There's a good chance that we're going to trade a squeeze up. It's just how far does it want to give a pullback for first? Again, just it's not A+ because we've left the gap open. It's the only thing I'd say. It's not A+ because we've left the gap open. VIX getting slammed though, which is what you want to see. So if pullbacks can hold now, as long as we don't violate those lows, if pullbacks hold now, there's possible rotation higher, which is what you're starting to see. I'd watch this 84, that old low. I'd watch it into here. You want to see it trade through that if you're in this long. Starting to push some size into this now. There we go. So taking that flag breakout. I want to see straight squeeze continuation at this point. If they've got enough shorts trapped, I don't really want it to pull back. I just want squeeze continuation upside. ES trading into that pivot I just talked about, the same one here that we're looking at. So you've got to be careful in terms of where the structures are. If ES fails into that pivot, we get a nasty pullback here. My stops are already in place. And we're still bearish. Flow is bearish. We've not flipped yet. We're close, but we haven't flipped yet. Needs to produce a higher low here, which we're trying to do. It's trying to do it. Watch your sizing as well. Please watch your sizing. ATR can increase quite dramatically, quite quickly, because of the ranges and the areas we're in. If people are trapped, do not be surprised to see a big move. So if we flip these flow zones, I'm interested. You would not want to see fails under really 40s. I think that will be a problem. We go back towards the lows if we start failing under 40s. And this is what I mean. Look at ES. Look at its pivot it ran into the 28s. If you look left to where buyers were last stuck, they became sellers. We traded into it. We just sold. So we just traded into this pivot in ES, which is why we're selling early here. So it's why you have to watch both things. This level we just traded into on ES and we're finding a sell from it. This is what I'm talking about. Structurally, it's dangerous because we've left gaps open. They're not trading in harmony right now. Oh, they're going to make this really hard. Come on. Make your mind up. So here's the pullback to 40s. If they don't hold it again, ES looks terrible. I will say ES looks absolutely terrible right now, folks. I wouldn't be interested in this. I'm taking this off and just wait. ES looks horrific. It's got a gap fill possible below, and it's good room down there, down to 5,900. It's just rejected a key pivot. It hasn't held into 923s. It looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. And we're not holding a pivot either. That's what I mean. We have a magnet below, and that's the problem. When we don't fill gaps, we leave the magnet below. It means that buyers like me are not confident to come in and trade the market, and then this is what you get. Like I said, I would be so frustrated had I not had that trade yesterday. I would have missed this whole short, waiting for bulls to step in. They're not stepping in, and I would have been very, very frustrated. What we're not seeing either is big sellers up above acting as magnets. Not seeing that at all this morning. So there's buys now down at 375. All right, so what you're seeing is the opposite to what you'd want to see on the tape. You'd want to see a lack of buyers beneath, so that there's no reason to trade lower, and a lot of sellers up above, so there's a reason to trade up to them. You're not seeing that. You're seeing the opposite. So I'm flat right now, and I would just wait. If they produce a high low here, it's a little bit better, but they're going to have to produce a high high with it. Otherwise, they can rotate this. It's got to trade back through these 50s and get going. 50s, what's the next point? 75s. And if they can do that, there's a trade. If they can't do that, it's just a chop. The chop. They're trying. VIX getting slammed a little bit here. Not at a lower day though, but it's back to 1920s. It peaked out to 1970 earlier. I just don't like the look of ES. I think we just chop around for a while here until it's caught one side again. Yeah, I know. I know about the Fed talk. Do we get a higher high print here? Do they trigger a squeeze here? Have they finished faffing around? Are they going to leave the gap open? They're going to try. There's 70s. I'm watching this very, very carefully if they're going to go for it. They need a break through this high. 75 will cause the squeeze. They need to sustain a bid through it. There's no one on the offer here. They should be pushing. It's just whether there's any bulls who actually want to participate in the market today. At the moment, there's just a lack of bulls participating. And look at ES, the divergence. ES did not take this high, folks. This is what I'm saying. ES looks terrible. All I've added to my profit so far this morning is $300. It's so bad. Oh, the size of the move to only add that is crazy, Alex. Hey, my thesis didn't play out. got? 20 minutes. They're trying to convert these flow zones, but we're not doing a very good job of it. And we're still well under deep pullback. And where's the lower time frame algo? Miles away. Miles away. Again, buyers, 412, 375. That's what worries me. Where are the sellers? Nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen above, no magnets. Back to the chainsaw. Yeah, unfortunately, this is everything we didn't want to do. We didn't want to let go of these levels up here because this is what happens when we go back inside the range, we get chopped. And I'm zooming out on like a 15-minute chart. Like this can be a handle building or even on a 30-minute. And this is what worries me. We've been so weak. We needed to hold this and we haven't. This can do this now. Right, so it opens up that bearish sentiment. It's just, it's not what you want to see as a continuation trader. I don't like trading range. I'm not scared to say that. I've said it a million times on this stream. I like trading momentum for pro trends. Until the last hour, the pro trend was up. I'd argue it's still up, but we're in chop. But momentum is terrible, and we've let go of key levels. Have to be willing to look at that and be like, okay, well, it's not holding key levels, so really can't do a lot. And that sucks. That really, really sucks. Juggling with chainsaws, that's what we were saying yesterday, wasn't it? Back to juggling with chainsaws without a handle. Eating grenades, that's what this market's going to do if it goes back into this range and stays down here. Oof. Oh well. Made our money yesterday, folks. Well, actually made quite good money yesterday in the afternoon on the shove up, but made most of my money last night. That's sorted me out for the next week or two. We're still inside of the initial balance as well, folks. IB at the low of day, which is PDC. That's your initial balance low. Trade underneath that. We can auction lower potentially. Go under it and reclaim. We can have an initial balance rotation day. Like I said, ES looks terrible. It never swept that high. It is trading back down to 917s. I would not be surprised to see ES need to close the gap. Nice. Well done, Crawford. Mr. Richard. Well done, buddy. Just trading between two anchors right now. Anchor from Tuesday. Where's this other anchor from? Anchor from Friday. We're stuck between the two at the moment. So Tuesday's buys are out the money. Friday's buys are in the money. Friday's buys are in the money until we get to basically 340. Under 340, Friday's buys are out the money. Can they build a W here? I don't have much faith because of ES, but that's what they look like. They're attempting to do, at least. Whether they can do it or not is a whole different thing. But it's look like what they are attempting to do is build a W. Might have to wait for this new hour and see what we get. All of the mag are green again. Are we going to get any follow through today upside? I don't even mind if we get follow through downside, to be honest. It's going to need to reprice up, though, first. 540s to 600. And then if sellers want to come in and build that handle to go lower and dig into the range, that's also fine. Just don't want a short low of day when we've just rolled over from basically 900 to 450 or 380 is the low. Don't really want to short down there without them building liquidity. Don't really want to buy without them filling the gap and having momentum change. So I'm just left stuck where my model's not quite ready to play out yet. Missed the opportunity short. It's my fault. I wanted to wait for buyers to step in. I knew we were having a short at the open. I wanted to wait for the buyers to step in. That it must be the third or fourth day in the last 10 days I've done that, when I'm like, I'm going to wait for the pro trend. I'm not going to take the counter trend trade down. And then I'm left to regret it. I've done it numerous times now. Yes, trying to get going here with the Qs. This is the problem. ES is so weak. And there's still a gap fill down there if it wants it. Very hard to convince myself of anything else. Do I think a long is due? Yes. Do I think there is a squeeze up potential? Yes. Do I think ES looks good? No. Do I think that might hurt NQ? Possibly. Yeah, exactly. It's the same levels, Ken. That's exactly it. Exactly it. When we look left, it's exactly the same levels. When we go high time frame, we're back into this nightmare. And it's not just yesterday. It's this nightmare and this nightmare. All right. So that's the problem. If we could have broken out and held above this, we have a really nice, lovely trend day. But that would be too easy, wouldn't it, for the market to let us have that? So now we have to do the opposite. We have to chop. And the problem now is because we haven't hung onto it, all right, because we're not based above, we are now going to need to build liquidity because bears are in control on the lower time frame. So bulls don't step in, they will need bears trapped. If bears don't get trapped, at the moment, you would say bulls are trapped. Definitely overnight bulls are trapped in this market. NVIDIA CEO Hang adopts trading plan to sell up to 6 million shares worth 850 million. Wow. It wants to break out here for that squeeze up. It's just too weak to do it. All right, you've got Fed talk as well happening at the moment, folks. We're in a 55 million volume pocket in SPY. Yeah, that's not surprising given how many days we've spent in these kind of ranges. So back to those 480s. Remember, we're not technically bullish on a daily until we get back above 560s. It's a long, long, long way away right now. We have gone inside the previous day. We're trying to find some price above it right now. I'm looking at the daily above the previous day open. That's where we are now. We're trading right at the previous day open. We traded down to previous day close, didn't close the gap fully. We're trading at previous day open. Yeah, the problem with that 590.45 is just that pivot this morning. 945, 950 pivot. It's where the buyers got stuck there trying to absorb it. Yeah, so that's the point at the moment where those buyers are stuck and they're becoming sellers on the SPY, Jake. Small profit is better than a big loss. It is indeed. It is indeed. But I had big profit last night, so it doesn't really matter. It's not about the profit. It's more like looking at the range I've had today and thinking, well, you've not taken any of that. You've ignored all the momentum to wait for bulls and they haven't come. So you've missed opportunity. That's what I'm telling myself at the moment. Like, that's kind of stupid. That's all right. It's very hard for me when I see us breaking out of daily ranges and we're waiting for pullbacks to RBSs and we say, hey, we're going to wait for them to get back there and put in bullish structure. If I'm saying I'm going to wait, I'm going to wait. It's very hard for me to take the short down to that level and then flip. And so I waited and still waiting because they never turned up. It's tough. So one of the things when you're trying to catch the bigger moves, this is what happens. But the flip side of that is things like yesterday in Discord when we've been waiting for the breakout all day, all week. And this is what we're looking for. We're talking about it. We know that the bears are setting traps at the lows. The bulls, sorry, are setting traps at the lows. We have the earnings. We get ready. We talk about what we're watching. NQ breaking out, and then we get long, and everyone makes a shit ton of money. So some days it's just worth waiting for. I like the easy trades where possible. I'd say the last 50 minutes, it's started to get a bit more grindy. It probably needs a pullback to sweep some of these stops at sort of 30s before it thinks about doing anything else, but who knows? We are starting to flip the flow zones, but we're still not through the deep pullback flow zones yet. So here's the break. They're starting to squeeze now. Do they get slammed into the deep pullback flow zones and into this pivot on the left? Remember, this is where the sellers got stuck this morning. If we get through that, we probably trade up to orb. 490s, 500s coming. 520s on the book, so maybe we can get up to him, which would be nice. But just remember, this is a sticky area up here. You've got this old VWAP here as well. If we start to reclaim these levels, it can be interesting for a bigger move. New hourly bar coming in 8 minutes. Very nice. There's 490s, 500s incoming. You can take some partial here if you're in this long off this buy signal. ES still stuck at these same levels. ES has not broken out with us, all right? ES has not broken out with us. There is a seller up here at 520. That's where they're trying to get to right now. There's the 500 break. Can they get up to the 520 guy? 520 guy. Can they get up to him? Where's that swing point? 33s. I'd say there's a few stops at 33s and then 60s. So if you're in this long, I would be moving your stop up with it because we're starting to expand away from those flow zones. So you're in a squeeze here. This is where shorts are getting stuck. You need ES to participate for follow through at this point. Remember, your opening range lows 20s as well. That's where the seller is. He's up at 20s. They made that about as difficult as they could make it. Here's the pivot without a good fill, without ES doing it, and then they do it. It's dirty, dirty work there, folks. It makes sense for it to be long, but why couldn't they have just filled it first to make it a bit easier for us? What I was looking for, and the divergence here is this. ES not filling this gap here is dirty. It means it can come back for it, especially if they build this liquidity and want to do that. It's very dangerous. Dirty, dirty moves. Reclaiming VWAP here, reclaiming deep pullback flow zones. You have just under 5 minutes left in this hourly bar. We're trading right back up to the previous hour. So I would say now a break of 535 can open up a gap to 620. Break of 535 can potentially, that's on an hourly I'm looking at, can open up and move to 620. Oh, did I have the wrong one up? I'm sorry. Yeah, so this gap fill here, why this was not an A plus is because ES left it open. Remember, this is the cash gap on ES. All right, so even though they pivoted here, they're stuck at this level here. This is a hard trade. If they want to do this, they might. And that's why it's not A plus, because they're leaving the risk open. If we'd done this, much easier, because there's no reason to come back down there at that point. Right, starting to build upside squeeze momentum here. We're holding 500s. It's looking pretty good. So what did I just say? 530 break can open us up for a bigger trigger. Was it 530? Got to look for this hourly high again. 535, I think, is the hourly high that can open you up for a bit more upside room to rebalance that first hourly candle that we had today. Seller at 520, remember. There's a seller up here at 520. Nice shove here. Still holding a little size. I want explosive moves though. I don't want like hesitation. Nice. Here we go. Get going. Hit 15s there. I want to move through 520s and then 535s. And then if I can hold a runner, I will. How long until this new candle? 3 minutes. I want to be careful as we approach this new candle. New hourly candle. Moving my stop nice and tight now. Just in case. So here was your buy signal here. Here was the sweep here. Here's the change here. All right, so these were the buy points. The problem was, again, just leaving this open. A little bit risky. But once we start to pivot, we're in long. If we build liquidity out here, can offer this. The big danger right now is that this is just one of these. That's the danger. All right, that's the danger, because we went so deep. It's made that available. But right now you're saying shorts are probably stuck at lower day. So all the way back into the opening range here. Can delete this now because we didn't hold it. ES starting to get going now. It looks much better. Okay. QQQ approaching its VWAP here. SPY approaching its VWAP here, folks. I should have done an anchor off the morning. Let's get that in now. Okay, we're through it already. ETFs are approaching their VWAP here. So let's see if they trade through it or if we find some sell here. We're going to watch now 474s down to 434s. All right, if pullbacks hold that and we build liquidity, fine. If we go sideways here, we can build an inverse right shoulder. That's also okay. So the sell this morning, much deeper than I would have liked to have seen. It's opened up the possibility for a continuation short here as we trade back towards PDC. So just, I'm very, very aware here that this can be now a counter trend leg. Not what I wanted to see this morning, but That's where we're at. New hourly bar coming here in 20 minutes. 20 minutes? 20 seconds. New hourly bar in 20 minutes. 20 seconds until a new hourly bar. There we go. Get your words out, son. Get your fucking words out, mate. All right, so flow zone's trying to flip. You might get an M1 flip here. Range on this session is big. Even from that low to now, decent size range. Here's the new H1 bar. All right, so watching that old trigger high on the H1. 35s is the old high on the H1. A big wick down on that last H1. So if pullbacks start to hold now, we've got the chance to reprice the H1 bar from 9 a.m. 10 a.m. was a big wick down. We've recovered most of it. If we get through 35, we can reprice up towards 616. So look and see if they offer a pullback early in the H1 bar. I want the pullback early in the bar, not towards the end of the bar. Early in the bar to see buyers step in. We've got an hour left until lunch. A possibility of doing something here. I need to pull back early in this bar to see buyers step in. I want to see some form of quasi form, something like down to here and use this. Okay, failures under here, not interested. Not too much buying underneath now, which is good. There's a buyer at 500 and not seeing much underneath. That's kind of what I wanted to see earlier in the day. I was talking about. I don't want to see lots of bids underneath because then it's a magnet for it to go to. Why does my stream keep closing down on this iPad? Come on. Okay, can we get a bit more of a flush down and it be bid back up? That's what I'd like to see. A little bit more of a pullback here early on in this H1 bar and it be soaked and brought back up. Otherwise, the danger is that this is a two leg, 1, 2, and start to sell. So they need to hold here for a continuation. Otherwise, this at this point here, under here, not interested because this can be the handle. And then we've got a huge cup over here, and this can be the handle to go lower like we talked about. So we want to see absorption versus these levels. Buyers need to take control in front of these levels or around these levels, not underneath them, not interested if they do it underneath. It's too much momentum downside in the morning session for that with the gap still open. Maybe into 85 would be interesting. It's the pivot looking left. This is what I want to see. Bit lower, and then I want to see buyers come in. There's 90. Do they start absorbing around here now is the question. If not, like we talked about, if they go back underneath the, if they get back into sort of 60s and 50s ranges, I would not like it for a long, that is. Forgot my wife bought me breakfast. Totally forgot. It's gone cold now. All right, these are the levels. Looks pretty empty here, folks. Decision time for the market. Buyers step in, we squeeze higher, or no buyers step in, two leg pullback finished, and we're going back for low of day. Decision time right here. I'd much rather we go higher. Good absorption on flow zones, good absorption on those levels. We just said around the 85, something like that would be good. Looking good. Want to reclaim a 500? Very nice. Want to see this get through that wick at 501. This wick to wick, this guy right here. You need to get through that, otherwise not really interested. Because that's a very low time frame shift here. Want to see this right here start to play out and then upside up into these guys. Looking very, very good. This is much better. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Now, I want to see some buying. Step in on the tape and be aggressive here. Guess what doesn't look as good? ES. Not looking as good. NQ relative strength today, for sure. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. You can do it. You can do it. It's rejecting that wick. Keeps rejecting that wick. It's there or thereabouts. 500, 501. That's kind of your over-under. Just going to use the bathroom, get a coffee. Right back. You here? Doing all right? Yeah. All right. Nothing's really changed. I don't like the look at ES still. We're getting into those areas of interest where it's going to have to make a decision here on the market. If they fail to hold these levels, there's a good chance we go back to low of day and close the gap, especially with ES leaving that gap open. That is the danger right here, right now. So it needs to hold these levels and reclaim 500. Otherwise, no good. All right, so it needs to hold in here. If it doesn't hold the top side of this for this move here, I would be very, very wary about this and this being a giant handle on what is a giant inverse cup for a continuation lower. So It is decision point. I'd much rather see it go higher, but like I said, the problem with that move right now is just the gap that's been left open. It acts like a bit of a magnet, so it makes the move harder, the move higher, harder to look for. Zoom this down a bit. And again, my iPad frozen. Come on, iPad. Wakey, wakey. All right, can we get some upside? Are we going to do it? Is the market going to roll and give a new higher time frame leg lower? I don't know. It's got to make its decision. Move this in so I can see my charts to the right. Break of 533 opens us up for a move towards 620. Here you go. So it's starting to try and do it. Here's 500s. So looking for this long now. If we can get continuation, I'm being very small with my size here until it proves to get through 530s, folks. Do not trust anything until we get through that right now. But if we're going to build out a quasi, it's going to be here. Come on, trading view. All right, we talked about it. Inverse head and shoulders, quasi, whatever you want to call it. Needs to build out liquidity here to go higher. Failures here is a higher time frame sell. That becomes a higher time frame sell. That's the danger at the moment. So I've got a tiny piece on. If we come back under 73s, I'll take it off. And when I mean tiny piece, I mean two little guys. Not two big guys, two little guys. Just want to see it start to absorb. There's 500s. Come on. We're going to go. We got to go. 505s. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go and break 530 and start squeezing these guys out. You can do it. You can do it. Everyone sing the song. Make a song up. Make it go. ES is so weak. It's worrying me. The look on ES is so weak. It is worrying me. I'm going to be honest. Not liking what I'm seeing over there. Not liking what I'm seeing over in ES at all. In fact, I'm going to move my stop break even. No reason to give money back here. Well, I've added $1,200 to my overnight number now. It's actually not bad. It shows how big the range is. Not bad. Almost knocking me out. BE here. Very, very close. And out. I'm not going to give this room. The reason I'm not going to give it room is because I'm worried if they go into a higher time frame sell that the candle that comes will be disgusting. That's the concern. Because if they're going to go for a gap fill and it's still there for them if they want it, they can do a 100-point drop very, very quickly. Oh, Alex. This is why. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's tough, man. When they leave gaps open and they leave magnets, and we go from what could be a breakout retest scenario to a back into death range chop, where potentially now you can argue we have a failed breakout of the top side, so sellers are in control. It's very, very hard to look for. When I'm still thinking about buys, they're basically in danger of being counter trend now, which is why I'm aggressive with my stop. Sorry, folks, it is what it is. I can't control the market. It could have stopped and given us a break and retest model today. It didn't do it. If you missed the overnight trade, it's unfortunate. If you missed the trade from pre-market on the way down, it's unfortunate. It's just what it is. Sometimes in New York session, you do not get exactly what you want. And that normally means that Asia or London have had great trades. And that's what you had. You had beautiful moves, pre-market, Asia, London up. And then we're just giving it all back. You'd want to see it hold these levels here. For any more upside, it's got to hold these levels here. What charts do you up on the ES? I have 5 minute with flow zones. On ES right now, I've got 2 minute. On the SPY 5 minute. On the QQQ 5 minute. On the VIX 5 minute. And then I'm watching on here 1, 5, 15, 30, H1 daily. Plus bookmap. Plus OBS. Plus my stream. It's a lot of screens to look at. Oh man, this sucks. This sucks. I'm not worried about this session. I'm more worried about next week. I'm looking at this chart and I'm concerned about tomorrow and next week. That's what's got me concerned looking at this chart. I don't really care about this session. Like I said, I've made my money. What concerns me is right here, we failed to break out. We went upside. Here we built liquidity. We've now failed to break out. We've come back inside. Now, arguably, it can hold this range and still go. But this is not what you want to see, man. This needed to just hold this for this move. And it hasn't done it. And let's have a look at the spiders. I bet they look gross on a daily right now. Nothing. Not even a breakout. It's not good. This is for moi and what I would like. This is not good because really I need this or I need this. I'm okay with this. This is fine. I'm much rather this long term because I get a cheap buyback down here. But this, I just no. No, please, no. God, no. God, no, please don't do that to us. Market gods, come on. Come on. You're going to kill us in this range. I get to look at myself while I'm streaming. Yeah, it's awful. I don't know if any of you have done like self-help work or therapy or anything like that, but I found the hardest thing I was ever asked to do was like look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. I just can't do it. I just laugh. I instantly laugh or cry. Just cry. Mainly laugh though. I'm just like, what am I doing? What are you doing, mate? Oh. I think I've done that before, just not on purpose. But that's a story for another day. Yeah, tell you back. Yeah, spent many times looking in the mirror in fabric in a bit of a pickle. All right, market is thinned right out here, folks. Like participants have left this book. Participants have left this book right now. Lower time frame, you're starting to see lower lows and lower highs right here. Here's your pivot. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Problem is, this is the level here. So decision point. Probably not best trade location here. very easy to get chopped up where we're moving into right now. Needed to hold above it like we talked about. It had two attempts to hold above it, failed. And these buyers who attempted to hold above it are now becoming sellers. You can see it here. So they tried to hold above this range. This is where I had a little attempt, break even here. Now they're getting stuck. These become sellers. This can become a giant handle. This can become a big sell. So if you want to sell this for a gap fill, I don't blame you. I'm really struggling to take that trade today for some reason, but I do not blame you. If you're looking to trade that for a gap fill, I don't blame you. Look at the volume on the day. Most of the volume on the day traded where we are now as well. Nice, Jeff. Good work. Were you short this morning, Jeff, or were you one of the guys long with me last night? Yeah, Euro close coming. I'm trying to remember who was in the room. I know Miguel was long with me last night. Lyndall was long with me last night. I don't remember who else was. Oh, I don't know who else was in the room. Yes, trying to find a bit. It's just very much in danger of this handle. We're just back into chop, aren't we? I don't envisage me taking a trade until we are clearly outside of what we put in for the last hour. Not because of the last hour, because of the last 10 days, or 11 days now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 days. Do I trade nighttime? Only when there's a setup. I'm not like actively trading it, but we knew yesterday was, if you remember yesterday morning, we were looking for that break above 560s for a sustained bid to go higher. It didn't come. Why didn't it come? Well, they needed to track more. All right, so yesterday, I'll show you what we were looking at and why. All right, this is yesterday's session. This needed to hold a bid up here for a sustained move higher. Actually, this is yesterday's session. Sorry. Here, it didn't do it and it failed. This right here is very, very manipulated and controlled. Look how controlled this selling is. This is not panic selling. This is very, very, very controlled. Right? This is to try and shake people out. This offers a buying opportunity for smart money, right? Because they know we're looking for this trade overall because we've come from a failed breakout. We trade sideways and then we develop what? Lots of retail buyers in here. So we wash them out. They all stop out. Stop, 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 stop. They get paired off. All right. If they're selling, they get paired off with smart money buying. Cheap, even cheaper. All right. Even cheaper when we come down here. Smart money absorbs this tape down here. Why down here? Because it's an RBS. All right. So they absorb that tape down there. Nvidia comes out. Everyone's got shaken out who was long, and everyone who's chased the puts just gets absolutely annihilated. All right, so at this point, I'm saying NQ is getting ready to break out. 566 is the trigger, and there we go, boom. And then we add, and I can show you what were we talking about in Discord? 800 was always the target, and then 22,000. Try and find it. 690 flat top, small partial there. Runners for 22k tomorrow if we're going to keep going, and then we come back to it. 800 is on the book as a seller. Everyone started to lock some in, and then let's find it where I say 800's incoming, and then I leave them for the night. I've got runners on. If you're long and holding for 800 to 22k, I wish you good luck. Be smart with your stops. All right, so we were always looking for 800. That was the level. Once we took out all the first bunch of levels, we were looking for 800s. And the levels have been on the tape. We've had them on the tape in Discord for weeks now. Absolutely weeks, topside, looking for that move. So yesterday just became a very obvious move. Okay, do we now break? How do I get back to this chart? Do we build this now? Are we going to build a flag versus this for this move? That's the question the market's posing. These are the VWAPs here. Or is this just a push up which gets sold into? Time will tell. Not last night. Win on 15-minute back test. Oh, nice. Leron, I was there with you, got long, passed another combine. I just didn't say anything, was happy for all of you. Nice work, Leron. Nice work. Yeah, anyone who took that long last night, we've had it planned for a long time. I think that's the thing. Like this morning we had this trade planned. It didn't work out, so we don't get the execution we want. It's just how it is. I would rather have a plan and wait for it to happen, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. That's okay. But if it does happen, we're there and prepared for it mentally. This is starting to break now. This is possible that we're going to start to get going here. Watching this very carefully. Here comes the squeeze. Watching 500s. If we break 500s, I keep forgetting the number. It's 535, isn't it? 533 or something is that hourly high. If they print through that, we go for a rebid higher because we have an H1 that we can rebalance. If we can break 33s, I think it's 33s. If we break 33s, we can reprice potentially up to 620 if we break 33. So that's the trigger that I'm watching. I would imagine range traders are having fun in this specific session right now. Fairly confident this market wants to move up. It's just, is anyone going to do it today? God, that's not a good article. Market Watch. Why Apple investors should be bracing for a wave of downgrades. All right, so you got to watch if they're going to break out here or not. Time will tell. They're holding this level for now. You've got that opening range up here. That's a good trigger as well. Can they get this squeeze out? Here we go. In this now. Small size stops already in the money. Not giving this room just in case we get that. If this becomes counter trend and we get a big failure, I do not want to get caught in a nasty candle. So I'm being very aggressive with my stops. You do not want to see 507.50 taken and failure. And you want to see ES start to bid aggressively up. Want to see aggressive bids. What do I mean by that? I want to see market orders come in basically and force this market up. I want people to start getting squeezed. If they just swipe here, which they've just done, and fail, I do not like it one bit. Come on, print up. I want to get through 22s and then 35s. So looking for this quasi to start playing out. We really need a break of 22s and 33s or 35s, whatever it is. Well, I don't know why my brain cannot remember that number today, but it can't. Whatever that number is, it cannot remember it. We're looking for ES to break through 34s. Do not want failures up here into it. Oh, you're going to be tricky. You're going to make it tricky, market. VIX breaking down sub 19 now. Looking good if we can get confluence here. Don't want VIX to find a bid, though. Do not want VIX to find a bid. We don't want to go sideways. It is pullbacks to be absorbed and then just rip higher. Sub 90 is not interested, or sub 88. Basically, flow zone's not interested. If we come too far down here, I'll just take this little one off. The chop continues. This is the danger now. We've now made a lower high on the lower time frame. If they're going to be nasty now, we can go low day. This is the problem. This market is in indecision territory all over. Would much rather this trades upside. But the problem is we've left that gap open, and ES is being a little bit pathetic today. It's left the gap open and it can't break out, and it's having divergence consistently, and VIX just found a bid. Fantastic. Ugh. Market being gross here. And we're stuck at the VWAPs again. So try to play some momentum upside here. Not playing out. We're going to just take this off right here, right now. There we go. So this is the danger now. If they want to go low of day, they can, and they will go low of day because we left the gap open. So now you're understanding why I'm saying when they leave gaps open, they leave liquidity pools open, it's not an A+ setup. This is why. They are tricky fuckers when they do this. It's not accidental that they leave those gaps open. It's very much on purpose. Because if we're counter trend, like I said, the bullish move here can suddenly go to be counter trend now. I know it might seem odd, but if they want to go lower at this point, the bullish move becomes a counter trend move, and now we start to sell back towards low of day. It's possible if they want to do that. It's absolutely possible if they want to do that now, because we left the gap. You're starting to see sellers step in. So my bias now is starting to flip more and more bearish by the second. What's that double bottom there? 29s. I would say we're probably going for a sell here soon. Unless it's a sweep, in which case it's double dirty both sides. And it's starting to look nasty. There you go. So they've just trapped, and we're going to go lows now. And this is the problem. If this is now the handle, we would expect ES to try and fill its gap. Watching this for continuation now if it's going to break. I think lower days coming. Look at ES. It is sweeping, so it just depends if they're going to protect this low or not now on ES. It has just swept. Do they want to go low of day, or are they going to protect? NQ's got to get under 30, really, to participate in this same move. Then under that, we can really get going. Here we go. I'm in this, folks. I'm in this. Let's go then. Let's sell hard then. If we're going to sell, let's sell hard. Taking some off into 30s. So I had to be nimble here and flip. The reason is because we're going into a higher time frame sell. I will explain this afterwards if you don't understand. You would have heard me talk about it numerous times. How it flips there from my bullish thesis to then that bullish move becomes a lower time frame pullback move. It's all because of the handle. That's all it's because of. It's because of the handle, and it's because of the low-hanging fruit left open. ES can still trade down to 5,902. It's very, very capable of doing that. Hopefully that makes sense for you all. If it doesn't, I'm happy to go over it. I know it's like hard to understand when I flip that quick, but it's understanding when the lower time frame and higher time frame suddenly are changing positions. Yeah, it's just all it is understanding. Trying to make this. How can I explain this best? When we leave gaps open, they're left open for a reason, right? The market likes to be efficient. I know there's some traders to tell you it's not the case. It is absolutely the case, right? 80% of gaps are filled. Market likes to be efficient. They don't have to be filled the same day, but 80% of gaps in the market are filled. When we have big breakaway gaps, sometimes they're not, but most gaps are filled. So from settlement yesterday, remember my PDC is different to everyone else. My PDC is 4 o'clock. From 4 o'clock, which is 380, we rip up to basically 900, right? And then we get failures. Anyone who didn't get filled as a buyer at PDC is hung out there. Anything that happened after PDC has happened overnight on thin volume. Remember, overnight volume, tiny, tiny, tiny compared to New York. So if we come back to PDC and we find a bid, right, we've been efficient because really we ignore all of that and we're efficient and we can maybe go again. And if we go red underneath that, we've got a red bar on the daily. If we do this and get very close and leave it, then you know there's a load of buyers hovering there. And you don't always see them on the book, probably because they're playing, you know, hidden. They're waiting, but they're there. They're there and they're waiting for gap fill potential. So when we don't close it, it's a low-hanging fruit. The reason I had to flip there, my bias, is what we talked about. Let's go on to a higher time frame chart. Let's just remove this. Okay. 30-minute chart, or this chart right here. Where did we want to hold today? We wanted to hold here. Here's yesterday's close, or wherever we are, let's get yesterday's close, 380s, right? Here's yesterday's close. Here's what happened after hours. Yeah, this will make sense right now, right? Here's your daily and weekly level. This is a breakout. What do we expect after breakout? A pullback to retest. Okay, so this is our zone that we're interested in buying in. But we don't just place orders there, do we? Like I always say, that's how you get killed. We highlight this zone, it became a blue box, and we wait for the lower time frame to do something like this. Did we ever get that? No. So we failed the RBS. So what do? We probably go back to the next level, which is settlement. Okay, and then the next level under that, previous day low. And if we fail that, tons of liquidity down here. Remember, we're still in this megaphone, right? We're still in this megaphone. We are still in it. So when my pro trend, which was a daily, think about this on a daily, this pro trend up, right? Sorry, I pulled that out. This pro trend is up. It's what it wants to do if it holds this, because think about just how a chart moves. We're in an up cycle. We're doing this. Right? That's a healthy up cycle. If we held there, that's just a healthy pullback. We've got liquidity there to go and use. It's a healthy pullback. We didn't hold there. So already I've got alerts going off in my head being like, any long today now at this point is very dangerous because we're back in what I've been calling the death zone. All right. You can see any long here, failed. Long here, failed. Long here, failed. Long above that never comes failure. All right. So it's showing you bulls have been unable to take control of the market. So while I'm looking for that long, I kept saying the trigger is this right here. This guy right here. This high right here on an hourly, a 30-minute, a 15-minute is the trigger, because this is the move. Once we trigger through there, That's a potential squeeze to fill into 620. We never triggered through there. So I was very aware while I'm long early looking for that rotation. If it doesn't come, what's likely to happen? This to here. What does this look like that we went over earlier? If we break down here, what do we get? A move down to previous day low. That would probably coincide with ES getting to a PDC, previous day close. So if we look at this same chart on ES, you can see it has not closed its gap. And it has not held its RBS. But it's left low-hanging fruit down here and a 5-day. So this feels like the drawn liquidity for me at this point, okay? It didn't do this. It didn't do this. It's doing this right now. This is a drawn liquidity, I would say. 902 and that low, 890. That's where it's trying to go. Now, we know buyers have stepped in here a few times. It's absolutely clear. So it's not like I want to be short, taking a fresh short down here, but if this is going to play out, that short into there, which I've just taken, makes sense, and we can cover some. If they hold these lows across the board, if they protect this, then we get a higher low. All right, and that's going to be equally awkward because we're getting a higher low in range, and then maybe tomorrow or tomorrow afternoon, maybe then we get this move. Really, this level and this level here are going to be key. I'd say why can't I ever remember it? 530? 530 and 568 are key. All right, they are key for trigger squeezes higher. Until that point, any long right now feels counter trend. Hopefully, what I've just said makes sense. Hopefully, you now see that this had the chance to print higher. It failed. We had divergence here. ES did not take this high. And like I said, you would rewind this tape and watch it again. If we take 508 and don't find a bid over it, be very careful because all we're then doing is a bull trap to come down. And that's traps live above swings. All right, there's the stops. That is the trap because I'm long here for that move. I'm not long here for that. I needed it to get through it for a continuation. It fails. This becomes that higher time frame handle we talked about. If this stays heavy now, I expect this to go back down to low of day. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes it's very hard for me to do it in the moment and explain it. It's the market can move quick, and this move here, taking this and dying, moved from 507. It moved 80 points in 3 or 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, it moved 80 points. I cannot always explain that on the go. I'm telling you, if this fails, then I'm going to have to flip, and then we start flipping for the rotation. And then this is the easy low-hanging fruit. This is the next level, and PDL, previous day low, is the last level it can go for. I mean, it can go lower, but at that point, it's probably completed what it's trying to do. All right, if they sweep this and protect, we can measure this out. Maybe this is a fib. It might be a 61. Interesting. If they protect this, right? If they protect this, then I think there's this move back up is possible if they protect it. They've swept. So this is probably fairly similar to, I forget that guy. There's a guy that teaches just this. It's all he trades with a 21 EMA, which is right here. So if you get this, maybe you get a squeeze trigger, but I don't like it based on high time frame right now. Probably more likely to fail at this point. Let's see what you're all saying. Sorry, hopefully that's helped. I know it's a lot to absorb. It can be a lot to absorb. Peter, I need 20 more years experience of this. You don't. You really don't. You'll start to get it and understand that, like, how to trade the market. All the market is a game of liquidity. If it just forget all news, forget like all momentum, forget everything. Just forget everything you know about the market. Treat this like a game of anything that you play. Risk, Call of Duty, whatever you play. It's a game. This is a game. It's absolutely a game, and it's real money on the line. What is the game? The game is who can buy the cheapest and who can sell the highest. That's the game. How do you get to do that? Well, the way you buy the cheapest is to scare people into selling positions when they shouldn't, so that you can buy more of them at cheaper prices. And how do you sell the highest? Well, you create FOMO, where people go, I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy. And then lots of people buy at the top. And there's so many people that buy at the top that you can sell to them without affecting the market. That's the game. That's what liquidity is. Liquidity is buy and sell orders on the book. Okay, so that's the game. So yesterday, the game was, how far down can we drive this market? We just went over this, but just to make this all make sense, the game yesterday was, how far down can we get this market to scare bulls? Okay, where is the swing point yesterday? Here. What did they do? Remember, bulls are long from here. Oh, they stop out. What happens at this point? They stop, smart money buys. Okay, that's the game over and over again. Here's the trend. Buyers are in. What do? Stop them out, buy cheap. What do they do here? Stop more out, buy even cheaper at an even better, cheaper price. Same level, RBS, right? That's the game. So their game yesterday is, how low can we get this and buy it where we still have control, okay? They do the move, then they rip it higher, walk it up all night, and they hit all targets. 800 was my final target. They actually literally tapped the trend line perfectly. Right, this trend line's been here for weeks now. So they sell. Right, the game now is, I'm not buying up here. Smart money. They don't hold the RBS for whatever reason. I don't know. They're smarter than me. They've got reasons for doing what they're doing. Maybe they just don't like what's coming in the market. Maybe this was always their target, the 800, and maybe they're now ready to do a much bigger dump. I don't know at this point, but what I do know is failing to move above here meant that they were looking to sell lower. Now, maybe they buy it very cheap here. Maybe they buy it even cheaper down here. Maybe they just are done walking this market higher for the rest of the year and they're going to walk it lower. I don't know at that point, but what I do know is how they play games and what they're looking to do. It's just one big game. That's all the market is. Market's waiting for Trump to go one way or another. I mean, there's only one way Trump is going, and that is full out war against what was being said, right? There's no way. If you know anything about Trump, it's his way or no way, right? So there's no way he's going to accept that court decision. This is what I was saying to the team yesterday. I think we talked about it in Discord. It was the first thing I said of like, what is the danger? Where were we yesterday? This is way back. Where did we talk about it? I know we talked about it last night because I was very, very aware of it. Here you go. What will happen now is he will sue them, have them fired, pass some laws. So he does. So non-stop news on this will continue. So basically, and then we talked about it this morning, we're just going to increase volatility in the market. Increase the volatility in the market. What is the one thing the market hates? It hates indecision. We like pricing in firm points. All right. It's why we like news, because news is normally a number-based news. All right. So when we get numbers, we can use that data to price in. We're always pricing in ahead of time. You're going to see this market trade lower now. All right. We are going to trade lower here. ES is coming back down towards its initial balance low. It will probably close the gap. I'm not going to guarantee that, but it's very likely at this point that this ES wants to close its gap. The reason I said it wasn't an A+ long, because we left that gap open. All right, so I would say increased volatility in this market will remain. It will remain in this market for a long time. Think about what's going on right now in the world. Okay, tariffs. Complete unknown quantity and entity. We don't know what percentage they're going to actually settle at, if at all now. We're now at a point where they might not settle at all. Has that been like that the whole time? They might not settle these tariffs at all. Beyond that, wars, none of which have been settled. We've got it in Pakistan, Palestine. Where else in the world at the moment? Still going on, like in Russia and Ukraine. Wars, conflicts, whatever you want to call them. So many unknowns in this market. So many. Market does not like unknowns. Okay, nothing wrong with taking a partial here, folks. All right, we did sweep these lows. Why trading view? You make it so hard. We did sweep these lows. We know buyers stepped in here this morning. We're watching ES to see if it wants to break down underneath initial balance. This might form like a microstructure like this, which would be part of a bigger structure like this. All right, so fractal. Possible. It's possible. I would not be thinking long now unless we really start to trigger above those hourly swing points. No way. We've had a couple of attempts at it. It doesn't want to do it. We've, now seeing the handle start to shape out. US says it may take US President Trump tariff case to Supreme Court Friday. There you go. Trump administration asks appeals court to pause tariff ruling. So they're asking to pause the tariff ruling. So tariffs back on. It's mental, man. It's a crazy. We may ask Supreme Court on Friday to keep the tariffs intact. Yeah, like there's a lot of indecision here. Peter, yeah, makes sense. There's so much elements that can make turnaround points just simple trap. Liquidity above, below, blocks, gaps, volume. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Like this was aggressive selling from here. So maybe we sweep some of these before going lower. We go pivot to pivot. Maybe some kind of tap in here before going lower is possible. Maybe something like this is possible. If they reclaim top side of this, then I'd be careful because we're protecting that. It's just chop. This zone here is very choppy with downside pressure, but choppy. That's the best way of me describing it, I think. You've only got 7 minutes left till lunch here, folks, as well. Yeah, we're good, Bowden. I'm back tomorrow, so expect small range and horrific drop like normal. We're doing good. Most of my winners came last night. I'm up 1,400 bucks at the moment in this session. Not great. Not great. Probably took me a bit too long to flip my bias. Not that I held on to longs or anything, but just probably waited longer than necessary to look for the short, but hey, I wanted to be certain. Still think this can sell lower. Ideally, one pop up, fill some of that imbalance towards the deep pullback flow zone, and then just puke it out. Lunchtime coming here in 5 minutes, folks, just so you're aware. I would not rule out ES closing its gap today. Really would not rule that move out. Looking good here. That last push up, did we sweep liquidity? Oh, left it by tickers again at the top side of the range. Otherwise, I'd say it looks very good for a downside move. I still think it looks good for a downside move. It would have been nicer if we just popped through 60 a bit higher first. Just these equal highs here. If we can do a little drive, you've got this imbalance here into like 50 or 61 for this move here. Looks probable right now. Looks probable. Reprice this gap and reclaim VWAPs. I'd say more death chop if it does that. It hasn't been the best on stream. I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of you traded it a lot better than me, especially those who are short pre-market already. I was looking for the longs today. It's no point me lying about it. I was absolutely looking for longs today. Once we didn't have the RBS, it became very hard to think about that. VIX trying to reclaim previous day high here. If VIX can start breaking out, this market can really get going downside. And you could look for current low of day and previous day low. If we trade through that, I'd be looking for, if we're really going to get heavy, watch the 5-day moving average and a move into 240s. Here you go. Here you go. Can go lower day here. I'm still in this, folks. I want a break here for a low of day shove. Here you go. It's coming. Watch ES into initial balance low. You can take a partial here as we trade into initial balance low. ES is going to want to close the gap. It's everything I've talked about. ES wants to close the gap. Still in this. Come on, let's go, baby. Finally gets an absolute banger. ES closing the gap. Take some partials now. That's why the long was never A+. Boom. Oh my God, what a melt. Do you remember up here when I said if they fail this, they can do a 100-point move in a minute? Let's go. Let's go. Watching previous day low now, if we can get all the way down there. So, cup and handle playing out. Low hanging fruit's gone. Only things left now are previous day low and 5-day moving average, folks. That's all you've got left. Finally gets a banger. Had to wait all stream. We had to wait until like the last 20 minutes to get it. But we got it, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. This is well over 100 points at this point. Now do you understand what I mean about leaving gaps open is dangerous? Previous day low about to get tagged here. You got to take a lot of partials here, folks. You should not be anywhere near full size. Take 75% of your position off here, please. You can always re-add in later if it firms off. But there's big volume. Buyers got cooked. That's the handle. Micro invert, a micro head and shoulder. This is the higher time frame handle. We go into a sell, and we're in sell continuation now. Only thing left now. Oh, man, we're lacking things to run for at this point. So like I said, 5-day moving average, 270s. Previous Friday's highs, 230s. All right. Well played. Anyone that get that with me, smash the W's in chat. I'm sure lots of people left the stream thinking this guy's never going to get anything today. Well, we absolutely murdered that trade. And I would say that's one of the nicer trades of the day. Nice and aggressive. Love it, team. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Rewards for people who hang around. Steve C with the win. Peter with the win. Marek with the win. Christy, Pat, Brandon, Ken, Thumper, Greg, Lee, Jeffrey, Nick. Low-hanging fruits have gone. The only low-hanging fruit left is the NQ previous day low. But ES just took everything. Just took everything out. JD, Florida Man, Richard, Cat. Where did we start the short? As soon as this flipped and I got break even, I was like, if we're breaking down here, I'm getting short. So here, and this is your like final entry point. But I was short from in here under this versus this, looking for this move. Let's go. Let's go, folks. I know you don't love shorts, DK, so don't worry about it too much, eh? Let's go. We are absolutely melting right now. Move that stop nice and tight, please, because we are in bounce territory soon if they want to do it. We're coming into that 5-day moving average on the ES and the SPY, and the QQQ not too far away either. So 5-day moving average on the ES into 80, 5-day moving average on the SPY. We're basically tagging it right now. Ash with the win, JJ with the win, Priska with the win. I'm in learning stage from your channel. That's right, Trentry. It's fine to be in learning stage. You're doing the right thing. Like, see the bounce? We take the previous day low, the green line, and we start finding some bids, right? Because everyone who's smart is starting to cover positions here. Right, so that lesson I went over while we were in this, hopefully it makes sense to you now. Leaving that gap open was very dangerous. The market likes to be efficient. Guess what? We closed it. Nice work, team. We absolutely cooked that trade together. I know it took me a minute to flip bearish, but I had to make sure. That we were going to flip there. I did not want to get caught shorting near low of day without knowing that bulls were trapped. And once we did that little trap, I knew it. I was like, okay. And look at the VIX. Sick. VIX breaking 20s. Yeah, it's fine to be out of it. I'm out of it, mate. Don't worry, Richard. I'm out of it. Miguel was peeling an orange. At least you got some food to eat. It's fine to trail this, folks, but I'm out of it. I locked in there. We're into lunch. I'll sit here with you for a few more minutes. Does everyone understand why we flipped short? Why the narrative on the higher time frame changed? Why it changed from me looking for bullish moves, higher time frame to bearish moves? Hopefully you all understand the whys. I'd say if we're going to get very, very weak today, you can get a move into 191. I'm just looking for other levels. I'd watch 191, I'd watch 140, and I'd watch 90s. But chat, do you all understand? Greg, you don't understand. Were you here for when I just went over it all? I can do it again. I just need you guys to understand why we moved from a bullish sentiment, higher time frame, to bearish sentiment. Yeah, okay. Last time doing it. Daily chart. Okay, daily chart. We broke out of this range. After a failed breakout here, we broke out. This wick is a breakout. What do we expect once we break out? A retest. We're looking to buy this high here. This is what we want to see for a healthy trend continuation. Because think about what that would look like. All right, it's healthy, right? Does that make sense? That's healthy. That's a healthy uptrend. So coming into the session, that's what I was looking for. We move into these charts here. That level where we had a blue box originally was basically here. All right. So we were looking for this to come down here, ideally have loads of shorts chasing it down, find some bids and do this. All right. So I wanted to buy here and add here for a move upside. That's what I wanted to see happen today. That's why I was so bullish on today, because higher time frame is still in a buy at that point. But we failed this level. Okay. We failed that level. And if we dig down into here, all right, we can see buyers turned up here this morning, or at least shorts started covering here, and we know shorts have a stop here. So in this candle here, once we hold this low, when I'm getting long, I'm looking for it to take out this high, all right? And if we take out that high, we can reprice to here, because this is where buyers are stuck, all right? So this, and if we reclaim that, this is where I get my move, all right? So it doesn't happen. We protect this high and we go into a sell. So if we go down into lower time frame at that point, remember from this point here, I got long. I'm looking for this to hold and I got long. I think it was here. There's the buy signal. Right, so I'm long at this point. I'm still thinking, okay, a small piece on. If we reclaim this, if we take out this high there, there's a potential for a squeeze. So I've got a small bit on, looking for that. And if you rewind the tape, you will hear me say, I think we're about here at the time, if we take out 508 and fail, I do not like it. It needs to firm up. Why? Because where does a bull trap live? Above this high, right? They needed to do this for me to feel really confident. The moment that took that liquidity and failed, my alarm bells are going mental in my head saying, hey, this is going into a sell. What is that sell part of? Zoom out. Always zoom out. Take this off. And we talked about this numerous times today. What does this look like? Cup and handle, right? Or inverse cup and handle. That is a bearish pattern to go lower. All right. And we don't reclaim this up here. And even then, when I was talking about this earlier in the day, I was like, if we fail, there is a chance for a short continuation here. I might be on the wrong side of this if we've moved into a higher time frame sell. So once they come and sell this, I'm thinking, okay, well, the higher time frame sellers are stepping back on the gas here, and they've trapped breakout buyers who have stepped in here. So we go dump. I'm now out. And this, it's a double top, but this is your head and shoulder. This can be a cup and handle, a part of a bigger, remember this is a bigger handle on the higher time frame. So as soon as we reject this, think about this. Sweep, dump. Where are buyers stuck? Here. Who's stuck? Buyers. Who's stuck above? Buyers. Who's stuck? Buyers. Okay, if they're not going to reclaim them, we're going to become sellers. So where's your short trigger? If you're not already short here, if you're not even following the sells, which has just triggered it, there you go. You can sell in this versus this. You can join momentum for breakdown. Where's your partial? Low of day. Where's your next partial? Previous day low. What can happen now? They can continue. They can continue if they want. They can also finish and just go sideways in this range for the rest of the day. They can recover if they want for a price higher, but the easy low-hanging fruit has now been taken because we closed the gap. Now, what was the confluence in this? It was ES, because ES never closed its gap. Remember here, this yellow line, I kept saying we're not an A+ trade because we haven't done this. This is an A+ long reversal. If we close this gap, we did not close the gap, which meant there was a magnet right down here saying, please come and close me. Please come and trigger everyone out. Please come and close me. So when we did this, at this point, what's probable? Here, and then the next runner here. So if we fail PDC now, we probably come back down to here. If we reclaim it, we can go into this chop. But the low-hanging fruit has been taken. We've had the trade. It's gone. Does that now make sense for everyone? Yeah, Nick, it takes time to see in real time. Like, no doubt about it. But like, I always think like what I want to do on stream with you guys is not only help you make money, but help you be able to trade by yourselves. I teach all of this in detail in the course, obviously, but I try and give you some value on stream as much as possible. If you are able to see this, all right, if you're able to see, even as basic as where do buyers get trapped? All right, above swings, and if we fail to make a new high, we failed to make a new high, buyers get trapped. All right, we use their liquidity to break down. Where do sellers get trapped? When we fail to make a new low. All right, even lower time frame. Sellers here who came in and selling this didn't get this low of day. They get trapped. We use their stops go upside. That, when I said earlier, it's just one big game. That's the game. This is the game. What I've just described to you is the exact game, and it's a game played on multiple time frames by multiple traders who are all much bigger, much faster, and much stronger than us. All right. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to recognize when there's a big sumo wrestler in front of us and just sneak behind him and get a little bit of money out of it. All right. We don't want to fight. We're not here to fight with people. We're not big enough and not strong enough to fight with people. And if you've never learned that lesson before, I dare you to fight against a trend in this market. All right. It will teach you a lesson. So just think about yourself. Or you can call yourself whatever you want. Maybe you're Nemo swimming behind a whale or a shark, right? We are trying to get in slipstream where there's no drag, there's no resistance. We can just go, get our points, get off the charts. Yeah, Richard's saying the course is awesome if you've not taken it. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, the course is available right here. All right, so you can either do the course by itself for $649. It's a 20-hour on-demand course, and you get free access to my Discord and the TradingView indicator. And if you want to get my NinjaTrader indicator with it as well, you can get it all in one package for life for $9.99. All right, so if you are interested, you are absolutely welcome to do that. There is zero pressure to do it, all right? I will keep turning up here as long as I'm enjoying it, which I do enjoy. Thank you, JJ. Very, very kind of you. All right, so you see low-hanging fruit's taken. Now we trade back upside. The damage has been done. The damage has been done. It is possible. It is possible that if the market makers want to buy this up, where was all the volume? Think about this. Where's all the volume been traded? See this? All right, so if they just scared, if there were buyers yesterday off previous day close and previous day low, and if they didn't take their profit at the top and they just got smoked down here and stopped out, either red or break even, right? Let's say you've got, I don't know how many, what's that? 11, 10, let's call it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let's say here was 50,000 shares, all right, who used to be buyers who are selling. And say there's these guys, let's just say that these are all retail, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of retail, okay, loads of retail. And then this side of the tape, remember, these are old buyers who have become sellers who just stopped out. And this side of the tape, you've got a huge fish, all right, a shark, right? And he wants to buy 50,000 contracts long. He can't buy that many contracts long up here because there isn't the volume to do it. If he does 50,000 contracts long here, he will never get the price he wants. But if he forces these lots to stop out and he pairs this off, no one is none the wiser unless you're watching this, all right? So that's how I like to think of it. This single player who's an absolute monster, i.e. a bank, just wrecked 50,000 individuals to pair off to potentially bid upside. If he's just caused max pain downside to get the cheapest buy possible, and we now end up here today or tomorrow, he's laughing, isn't he? He's absolutely laughing because he's just swept everyone's stops and he goes all the way upside and he locks in half his profit or whatever. All right. So I'm not saying it has to do that, but that's how I think of max pain and volume, right? That's how I like to think of it all the time. Any advice how to pass evaluations on the course? Just trade properly, Poppy. Just trade properly. Let's put it another way. Why don't you explain to me what you're struggling with the evaluations? First of all, tell me what prop firm you're trading with, what account side you're trading, and why you keep failing. Can you admit publicly why you keep failing, where you keep coming unstuck? That would be the first. If you can do those three things, I can help you. You can do that now. Let me know. I don't mind sitting here for a bit and helping you all. We just made a ton of money. Hopefully what I've just taught you makes total sense. We do go over everything in the course, but let's see if I can help you here. Yeah, so even off this low-hanging fruit, it's just moved 100 points. Previous day low, bang. All right, 100 points. Where's resistance? Yeah. That's where we just sold from. So it's back testing where we just sold from. Oh my God. How many times is this going to happen to me? It's back testing where we sold from. If we reprice here, we go up, right? Because then what do they aim for? Well, next levels of liquidity. So either it sells here, back down for a retest, can do this, like a little bit of one here, or it builds liquidity sideways here for an inverse head and shoulder, and it goes to run all the stops higher. But Poppy, feel free to talk up. I'm happy to help you right here, right now, before I break for lunch. If you don't feel comfortable, I also understand. That's okay. But I would say one of the key things in trading is being able to admit things that you're doing wrong. If you don't know what you're doing wrong, then you're either not journaling or you just need to do a course to learn to trade. It doesn't need to be my course. Do I think my course is the best out there? Probably it's one of the top ones out there, I'd say. But if you don't like how I teach, I totally understand. It's no different to being at school. You want to work with someone who you find easy to get on with and easy to understand that concept. If that's not me, I will not be offended at all. There's plenty of other educators out there. If you resonate more with one of them, please, by all means, work with them. It's really, really important. This is a hard skill. It's important you find a mentor and a teacher that you can understand their concepts and that they hopefully have a willingness to help you. But if I can help you now, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here, folks. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Ken says, mine was FOMO and tilt. So I stopped everything I was doing and started writing every trade down and was taking way too many trades. Also doing a lot better now. Great. That's great work, Ken. I'll tell you what, I had a phone call with Brad, one of my students, Brad, you might see in chat. I don't know if he's still here. He told me something that he read and he started doing. He puts coins or poker chips in front of him, and every time he takes a trade now, he has his like a bundle of coins, and he has to say, do you want to take that trade? And if he takes that trade, he moves a coin to the right, and that's come out his pot. Now, if he wins that trade, it goes in a winning pot. If he loses that trade, it goes in the losing pot. And then if he fails the next trade, He has to take the one out of the winning and put to losing. And that physical thing of moving it, reality of what money really is, has really helped him stop taking unnecessary trades. You've done a lot this morning for coaching. Thanks, Capt. Hopefully it's started to click. Hopefully it's all starting to click. You can see this is getting very, very squeezy now on the tape. So probably bars like this, all right, bars like this normally force retail to try and short down here. All right, it encourages them, but we're right at the points where we need to start covering. So they start to get squeezed. If we go here long enough, this is probably a trigger. It's not pulled back at all yet. This is not pulled back at all yet to set a higher low. This is a straight squeeze, which is telling you shorts are caught here, and the whales just 8 and 8 and 8. $20 to pass my 3 TPT accounts in just today. I said was going to get it back. $20 to pass. Oh, you need $20 more. Just take your time, man. $20. I'd scale right down. One micro. That's all you need. Get a little 10-point banger, and then you'll have to. I guess if you've just bought them today, Raphael, you'll have to churn them for 4 more days, eh? Just like buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, so that you fulfill that obligation. Or 3 days, because it's 50% pass rate, isn't it, over there? What a market. What a market. It's a trader's dream, this market, sometimes when it behaves properly, and it's a trader's nightmare when it just chops all day. Absolute trader's nightmare. But I'm happy. That was that's made me a happy man. It was a great trade, and it all played out after we talked about it. Maybe I'll clip it into a short vid. I won't do a short because it's too long to put into a short, but maybe I'll clip it. Put my trade list in what kind of trade it is to find out what I'm good and bad at and what. Yeah, exactly, Ken. Exactly that. I talked to DK about that as well. What's the quickest route to profitability? Number one, slow down. Most traders try and go too fast. You've been in the market for 3 months, 6 months, 3 weeks, 1 year. I hate to say it. You're new. You're fresh. You're excited, which is great. But remember, the person the other side of the tape is probably 20, 30 years experience whale with hundreds of millions of dollars. That's who you're competing with when you're taking a trade. It's a zero-sum game. There is literally someone the other side. A market is exactly that. Imagine walking to a market stall. You're walking down the middle of a market and you've got a guy selling apples and oranges. That's what this is. They're selling you NQ and you're buying NQ, or you're selling NQ and they're buying NQ. All right, but they've got way more money in capital than you have. So when we're doing that, you got to remember that's who you're playing against. So how do you get profitable? You slow down and you use less size, because if you use less size, your errors are going to cost you less, and you're going to build the framework for understanding good trades. Then you do exactly what you said, Ken. You identify what you're good and you're bad at. For example, DK in chat is not great at shorts. She knows her stats. She doesn't love shorts. There is nothing wrong with that. 80% of the time, the market moves up. So remove the shorts. If you've got a 70% win rate in longs and a 70% losing rate in shorts, if you eliminate those shorts, you're already a ton more profitable, right? First thing to do. Maybe you're horrible at reversal trades. Okay, remove them. Maybe you're horrible at initial balance rotation. Okay, remove it. Remove it. Remove all the trades you're not good at. If you want to get a book on this, if you want a book on this and you're going to laugh, go and read Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. It's a really, really short, silly book, but you will see what I mean. It's worth whatever it is on Audible, 50p or whatever it is. You'll do it in like 2 hours walking your dog. Go and read it. Let that just sink in. Get really, really good at what you're already really good at, and forget the rest. If any of you have read Market Wizards, you hear the same thing over and over again. They wait for their trades and they might only come a few times, but they're really good at them. That's how big guys make their money. Brandon, I need to learn how to hold runners and take partials. I understand the concepts, but I don't really understand how to execute them in real time. You just use limit orders, my friend. All right, so I don't know if I can do it on here. Well, let me make sure I'm not actually logged in. I've never been logged in here, so I shouldn't be logged in. Can I log into paper? What the fuck is going on there? It says I'm $146,000 down on my paper account right now because I'm short. I don't think that's the case. I don't think I've ever touched it. Can I trade this? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. I never use this thing. All right. So let's say you have. Will it not delete? My God. All right, let's just do this for context, see if it will work. No, cancelled. Okay, I can't do it. I don't know how to do it on here. But what I would be doing, for example, is let's say you wait for this and then you buy. And let's say you buy 3 contracts and you have your stop down here, 3 contracts. And then you might have a limit sell here and a limit sell here. And maybe you have a limit sell up here. Those are your partials. And you can move this limit. Now I trade on Ninja, so I can literally drag this to here and drag this to here. Right, that's how I would move my partials around. It's a really easy concept, especially if you're on Ninja Trader and using an ATM strategy. Or you can just market one out, I guess, if you're whatever you're using. I don't know what your favorite thing is to use to trade, what your favorite platform is. What I'm working on is realizing when I see money, take money, and when to let it run more. Yeah, that's just identifying what market you're in. When you're in a trending market, you can hold on to it a bit more. When you're into a rotational market, we are in a see money, take money environment. The other thing you can do is go see money, take money for the first few trades and build yourself that buffer in the morning. So you're like, okay, well, I'm up $100, $500, $1,000, whatever it is for you. And now I'm willing to sit in a trade longer. It's the other way to do it. Start each day fresh, build the buffer and go. You have to learn it on NT. Yeah, really, Miguel, really easy. In your ATM strategy on Ninja Trader, how can I edit this? Let's do a fresh one. Okay, in your ATM strategy, you can be like order quantity 3, add, target here. So you'd go this one to 1, this one to 1, add another one, this one to 1. Okay, and then you'd have 3 limit orders on the sells. All right, so you buy 3, limit order 1. You'd have to change this profit target. So this would be like 190, for example, 250, for example. Okay, so it would buy them all with a stop loss of 60 ticks. It would sell the first one at 120, second one at 190, third one at 250, and you can drag and drop those on the screen as well. All right, team, I've given you an extra half an hour here. I'm going to get out of here. Aha, yeah, you like that, Miguel. I'm gonna get out of here for the day. I'll pop back in Discord later. I will set some price alerts. This is looking a little bit squeezy to me. Remember, bulls technically are counter trend right now, but we did just take all the low hanging fruit. So there's potential for a rebalance upside. If I was looking at the higher time frame right now, I'd be looking for, if it wants to break this same high, same one we've talked about all morning that I can never remember the top of it, 532s, I think. A break of 532s will allow a rebalance of this huge move that we did here, all right, into 620s. All right, a break of 532s can allow a rebalance into 620s. If we cannot do that, We are in trend continuation until it proves otherwise. But remember, low-hanging fruits have gone. 5-day moving average has been is being protected. Previous day low, previous day close has been taken. There is potential for a lower time frame squeeze here, counter trend. And if their game was to just see how low we could get it and then rip it back upside, then like we've talked about for the last, I don't know, however long, this game here is possible. Partials into this, and this is your hourly trigger and previous day high for a higher move. This would be a giant squeeze if it did this. I would rather we just do this the rest of the day. I'll tell you why, because it offers a great trade on Friday, both sides, much better. So selfishly, I think we've had the good trades. The least it does now, the better. You've got to use hard stops, all right? Understand the type of market we're in right now. We have a lot of news hitting the tape. Remember, we did a huge dump the beginning of the year because of the tariffs. We've done a huge ramp up because they've paused the tariffs. We've gone then explosive up because they've said the tariffs are not legal. And if he battles it and we find out he's winning in court, we're going to go back down again. All right, so just understand the variables in the market. Just catching up before I say goodbye. Alibaba, how you doing, buddy? Each time here and enjoying your show. Kind reservation trader. I'm learning how to develop my patient skills. It's great. That's all you got to do. Just keep turning up slowly, slowly, slowly. Luke, how do you join the Discord? It's for private members only. So yeah, it's for people that have done the course. Course is available in the link down below. You can do that course. If you do the course, you get access to the Discord for free for life, and you get this indicator as well. Myron, you're welcome. Thank you everyone for turning up. Have a great afternoon. Yeah, thanks, Ken. You too. You too, Bowden. Have a great day, everyone. You're welcome, Tim. You're welcome, Raphael. Have a great day, everyone. All right. Peace and love. Please be safe. Please, 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 please be safe. All right. Violent moves in this market. You can make a lot and you can lose a lot if you don't understand what's going on. Do not fight the tape. All right. If you see volume stepping in, do not fight it. Those in Discord, I'll pop in a bit and we'll see what we get. I'll set some price alerts and let's see what we get this afternoon. Hopefully we close the week out strong on Friday. I'll catch you guys later.